Hey there, good evening and welcome along to the MODUS Super Series for what will be the last night of action before the finals night field is finalised. 3 places left up for grabs, and we had a thrilling Thursday evening last night, and it's already been a freaky Friday here at the Super Series today after 2 of the most remarkable tungsten turnarounds ever in Group C. And here is that Group C table. Well, Moreno Blom started this week by losing 16 of his first 21 matches, finishing bottom of Group A and being near the bottom of Group C. As you can see, he's ended up top of it. Scott Walters, as you see there in 5th place, well, he was top of Group C at the end of yesterday, had won all 5 matches and somehow lost all 5 today. So it's Moreno Blom and Lee Shewan that have taken the next couple of places in finals night tomorrow. Andy Hamilton having got through from Group A. A really remarkable turnaround for both players. Paul Nicholson has joined me. Paul, I still can't quite believe what happened this afternoon, can you?
Not really. I think when we wake up tomorrow morning, we're going to think that today was just a dream, but today's not even over yet. We look at tonight and we think that maybe Conor Heneghan at the top of the table is looking pretty good, but after what happened to Scott Walters today, I'm not seeing anything. Yeah,
Moreno Blom, the man who was the guy who had the positive turnaround. We're going to see him now hitting that winning double to defeat Lee Shewan, who actually went through with him. And Blom, well, I call him Boomerang because that was some comeback, wasn't it?
He doesn't have a nickname, does he? He might actually have given him a good one there, but the fact of the matter is, Shewan lost that match thinking, oh, well, it looks like I'm in the car then. But the fact of the matter is, after that, he was done a favour, so he's going to be sticking around. And the 2 debutants from this week are both going to their first Saturday finals.
Yeah, you mentioned Conor Heneghan, a player who actually qualified for what was the Live League through the then MAD, now ADC qualifiers, and he's made his name in this event, and he made his name even more well known last night with this perfect 9-dart finish. Again, just talk us through this, Paul, because this is his second in the event.
He's hit a lot of 180s this week, so seeing him start a leg with a max was not a surprise. And we've seen other people go really deep into 9-dart attempts this week. Steve Brown missed dart 9. Kevin Painter missed dart 8. But when dart number 8 was found here, we thought, hang on a minute, double 12. And look at that. A very simple shot and a great celebration. There was a real echo around this place when he hit that. Everybody wanted him to get it. And a little bit of history for Conor. I'm really happy for him because he's had a bit of an up and down week. But he wants to make sure that... And what he said to you in the interview afterwards was very apt. He said that it doesn't really mean anything unless he makes Saturday night. And now his job is very clear. Make Saturday night and do it really quickly tonight.
Yeah, not there yet, Conor Heneghan. Everybody in this group still firmly in contention. 3 places up for grabs at finals night. And 2 of the players, of course, in contention are playing first, Ryan Furness and Johnny Haines. Both of them had moments last night. Haines won the match between them. And, yeah, either of them could make it, or maybe even both of them could.
What Ryan Furness can't do tonight is have the finish that he had last night. This is really good from Johnny Haines. He was finding stuff at really good moments last night, clinging in there. And the fact that he's second coming into tonight, it almost springs a surprise because he didn't play his best stuff last night, but he was able to pit people at the right times. But as far as Furness is concerned, get as good a start as you did last night, but finish a little bit better and you will be in the top 3.
Yeah, and he had a few good moments last night as well. Furness here is one of them, a nice 102 checkout. And he's a very capable player, isn't he, Ryan Furness? We've seen him do well in the studio in Southampton. Do you think he's one of the players that it's taking a little bit of time to adapt to the new settings?
Yeah, possibly. I think a lot of the players are going to feel that way. They grew accustomed to that smaller room and the low ceiling, but this is very, very different, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it will take some time for some of the guys like Ryan Furness who don't have recent or previous exposure to something a little bit more grand.
Let's have a look at the table before we get the action underway. So Conor Heneghan with 3 wins out of 4 last night, top of the pile. But as you can see, both the next 2 players in action on 4 points, along with Adam Smith-Neale. So whoever wins this first match, Paul, will be sitting pretty. We think usually 10 is a magic number in this group. You'll get through with that. Probably we'll get through with 8. But after what we saw this afternoon, we're not going to take anything for granted, are we?
Not at all. I look at what happened today, and genuinely what I want to do is sit back in my commentary chair and just see what falls and take each leg as it comes. And I know the players who were watching the Group C action from this group tonight in Group B, they will take heed of that and they will understand that they're going to have to be on their game. Only 4 matches each left to get their ticket to Saturday night.
Yeah, big night of darts here. Big night on Saturday tomorrow. You could be here as well. Free tickets available from dartshop.tv. That is free tickets rather than 3 tickets, but you could be here as well. And 3 players will get through from this group. Will we see any of these 2? Let's find out. Paul Hinks is the referee. Paul Nicholson's about to head downstairs, and he will be joining Henry Deacon.
Evening, Chris. Evening, everyone. And after the thrilling conclusion to Group C earlier on today, what is Group B going to bring us this evening?
Score screen on, please.
And like the group that we saw this morning, it is finally packed at the top. Conor Heneghan leads the way after the first night's action on 6 points, but 3 players all on 4, and then Conan Whitehead on 2 points will not be discredited from the running either. Remember, it's 3 from 5 that will progress their way through to tomorrow night's final, and you just get the sense that this first game for both players has a feeling of an absolutely crucial one, as Haines takes on Furness, who at times showed some brilliance, at times was inconsistent, and you just get the sense that one of them will want to set their stall out right from the get-go here on Friday night here at the MODUS Super Series. We're just making sure everything is okay on stage. So whilst we do that, let's run a bit more behind Ryan Furness's night last night then, because it was a tale of 2 halves. Started off with averages of 90.74, followed by a 95.61. A steady enough start there for the man from Salisbury in Wiltshire. But then the second half of the night, it just began to tail off a little bit. Averages of 79.52 and 77.83. So you'll be looking to harbour those earlier averages as compared to the ones in the latter stages of last night. But Johnny Haines goes into the evening second in the group. But when it comes towards the bookmakers' odds, he is the 4th favourite from 5 to win the group this evening. We'll see how it all plays out over the next 3 hours or so. Your Friday night darts continues here at the Super Series, and I'm happy to say
93.
Alongside me is no other than the asset, the former Players Champion himself, Paul Nicholson. A very good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening, Henry. Great to be here. We've already seen 15 matches today, you and I. What a drama-filled Friday it's already been, but we're going to take this all the way through to the early hours of Saturday. Let's see what these guys can do as far
95.
as the drama-filled Friday is concerned. Murph has labelled this Freaky Friday already. Probably
60.
something to do with the switching of places between Walters and the winner of Group C, Moreno Blom. We'll see what they can do as far as Blom,
100.
Hamilton, and the 3 people from this group that will qualify for Saturday night. As far as my prediction as to who is going to win on Saturday night, well, I just don't know. I'm just going to wait until I see who's in it first.
Somehow, Group
93.
B could be even more unpredictable than Group C.
Yeah, that's a scary prospect. And I did forget to mention Lee Shu in there, who valiantly did make it through to Saturday night
41.
at the first attempt. Well done to Lee, well done to Moreno, well done to Andy. But 3 players from this group will join them. That's a good second dart. I'm very impressed with how that stuck in the board, because it had a massive clatter against that other barrel.
80.
And this is a typically good start from Ryan. You've already mentioned how his form tailed off towards the end of yesterday's session. He can't
34.
do that tonight.
Ryan, you require 40.
Most certainly. Well, he's starting off in the right vein here, leaving tops after 15 for a comfortable opening
on
leg
the
hold
first leg.
against
Ryan
Johnny Haines.
Furness.
But one thing I've just spotted in the first leg with Ryan is the barrel is the same, but the stem and the flight looks different to yesterday.
I think it's the same construct, it's just a different colour. Yesterday
like
he was
Johnny to
using
throw
a
first.
brighter
Game on.
colour. I think it was a red or an orangey colour. This time he's gone for the more stealthy black.
100.
Maybe just to match that black barrel that I know pretty well, because it is a former model that I designed.
94.
He's not someone who subscribes to the loud dart shirts or anything like that. He wants to be comfortable. He wants to use what he wants to use.
100.
He's a very effective dart player, and I think what he's got in his mind right now is getting one over on Johnny Haines
93.
to get himself in the top 3, but also to gain, and revenge is too strong a word, but just gain a little bit of a comeback against someone who dispatched him yesterday just a bit too easily.
As I mentioned, he dovetailed towards the end of last night. It was a 77.83 average in that defeat to Haines yesterday.
Johnny O'Carr, 121.
What we're going to see in the renewal, that was the last game of yesterday. This is the first game of tonight's session. And with Furness all the way back on 260, Johnny Haines decided to assess his options.
81.
25 there, would have left double 18, but he's going to return for tops after 12. A much improved leg on the punk.
60.
One of the
Johnny
better
O'Carr,
nicknames on
40.
tour. Johnny's decided not to wear his very interesting dart shirt from last
Game
night.
shot on the second leg. Johnny
The 15
Haines.
darter gets things level at 1-all. Where's your money tonight, Henry? Because we've already talked about how Moreno Blom this morning was 80 to 1 just to qualify through Group C. He's now 7 to 1 to win the whole thing this week. And there's a lot of people who think
95.
that's decent value, considering what he's done today.
I think he will like the dynamic of a crowd in tomorrow night as well. But you look at
26.
the field tonight, I think Adam Smith-Neale at 4 to 1 could be worth a fancy. But similar to this morning with Moreno Blom, do not rule out Conan Whitehead for
60.
a second, because he's the sort of player that can make a charge on a Friday.
Yeah, we had a little natter with him late last night after the session did finish. And he was not worried at all.
95.
Even being in 5th position in this table, he was adamant he's going to qualify and he's going to have a crack at that £5,000 bonus tomorrow.
100.
That's a really healthy mindset. He was not worried at all. He just knows that if he plays well enough tonight, he will get there.
He's one of those that he won't overthink the game.
60.
He'll get up on the board and just see what happens.
What he doesn't need tonight is everybody to play their best darts against him, which is exactly what happened on Thursday. This is better from Ryan.
125.
Had one maximum in this match so far, coming from the punk.
60. Randy O'Carr, 121.
Here's Furness, who's first to finish in this leg, and every single leg has been really comfortable with throw thus far. And again, like Haines in the last leg, looking to go 25 to leave 36. That drops below into the
81.
17, so he leaves himself tops upon his return. With Haines all the way back onto 60, all he can do is apply as much pressure as possible. As Furness
100.
returns
Randy
for a
O'Carr,
2-1 lead.
40.
Tops it is then. Down for 10s.
20.
And he offers a
Johnny
little
O'Carr,
shade of hope
160.
for Johnny. I do believe this is still the biggest finish of the week. 160. We've seen it twice.
100.
Can't afford
Randy
to miss
O'Carr,
this
20.
time. That one's far enough away for it to be a guide.
Game shot on the third
Really
leg.
pure shot.
Ryan Furness.
From Ryan Furness there to give himself the halfway point. He started yesterday really well. He was the only person to beat Conor Heneghan on Thursday night.
Like Johnny
Admittedly,
the first
Conor
game
didn't
on.
really get out the traps, but after that match, you sensed that Heneghan was ready just to get down and dirty and do everything correctly, which is exactly what he did.
And crucially for Heneghan, he got the win in that final game. Imagine playing the way he did yesterday and only
85.
coming out with 4 points. And there was a conceivability that every player could have gone into Friday on 4 at some point last night.
And that has happened before.
55.
Speaking to our statisticians last night, we weren't 100% sure whether it had happened before, but it had. Can you imagine being part of that group?
100.
Where it was 4 points for everybody going into day 2. It didn't happen in this group, but it wasn't far off.
You thought that we were going through
60.
the WhatsApp messages and going through all the permutations this afternoon. This evening could be just as dramatic. And remember, with less players in the group, it adds so many more variables when you got 3 spots to go
100.
through. So my advice is stay here for the long haul, because you're not going to know the answers to the questions until
99.
possibly around 1 o'clock this morning.
I was talking to a couple of the players from Group C this morning.
125.
They were all tuning in last night,
Johnny O'Carr,
thinking
164.
this is going to be a good group to watch. They were right. A lot of them were jolted out of their dozing
80.
late last night by
Johnny
the
O'Carr,
9 of Conor
91.
Heneghan. Could be a break of throw here for Ryan. More so after that.
51.
Just
Johnny
too safe
O'Carr,
at the first start.
84.
Didn't give himself any confidence with dart 2. Haines to save it. Needs 14 in ball.
59.
That far away.
Johnny O'Carr,
Not
40.
much, but too much.
Could be enough.
Game
And
shot
that
on the
tops is
fourth
enough for
leg.
Ryan Furness to
Furness.
open up a 3-1 lead, a breaker throw, and he'll throw for the match for the first game of the evening. It'll put him onto 6 points, level with Conor Heneghan at the top of the Group B table, and it would
This
be
leg, Ryan
the
to throw
perfect
first.
start
Game on.
for the man from Salisbury. And for every player this evening, they know how bunched up this group is. Winning the first match is oh so
140.
crucial.
Yeah, you're not kidding. It just sets you on the right path, doesn't it? It puts you in a good mood.
134.
It makes you believe that you're going to have a good night. Let's not forget as well, Ryan Furness has won on a Saturday night before. He has been successful.
134.
Not everybody who plays here has had the winning feeling at the end of the week. Johnny Haines hasn't had that.
140.
Conan Whitehead has won 3 times. Adam Smith-Neale has won once. Conor Heneghan has not won a weekly title yet. He's been
174.
very close twice in the summer. And Ryan Furness is very close to getting a mammoth win here in match 1.
Which is staggering, and Conor Heneghan was one of our
99,
champions event. He did
53.
that via a qualification in 3rd and 2nd place. Well, Ryan Furness is hoping to be in the top
Game
3,
shot of
and
the
that
match,
4-1
Ryan
victory
Furness.
against Johnny Haines will help his cause right from the get-go. So Ryan Furness kicks off the night in perfect fashion here in Group B, and it was with an average of 92.20. So the trend of starting the night spectacularly in Group B continues for Ryan Furness. Meanwhile, for Johnny Haines, it was an average of 83.44. In terms of the doubling statistics, Johnny Haines, 25%. That equates to 1 from 4. For Ryan Furness, 4 from 10, 40% on the doubles. Johnny Haines hit the game's only maximum, but it was Ryan Furness who came away with the points. When we return after the break, it's the 9-dart man from yesterday, Conor Heneghan, in action. He takes on Conan Whitehead, who could do with a victory to start his night.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where we've had a fantastic start from Ryan Furness, winning the opening match by 4 legs to 1 against Johnny Haines there. An 11-darter in the last leg to get over the line there from Furness, and a strong start for him. We'll see how it affects the table in the early stages this evening, as Furness joins Conor Heneghan at the top of the pile. Heneghan with a game in hand that he's about to play against Conan Whitehead, who picked up just 1 victory last night. But the night was an incredible one for Conor. He might not be through to finals night yet, but that 9-dart finish, his second in this tournament in its various guises. He's joined Martin Adams and James Richardson in managing to hit multiple 9-darters in this event. But it is Conor against Conan, and the Barbarian is looking to blow Group B wide open. Let's get the action underway in the company of Henry Deacon and Paul Nicholson.
Thanks again, Murph, and welcome back to the MODUS Super Series. The MODUS Live Lounge has bear witness to its first 9-darter just under 24 hours ago. But yesterday, you would have to categorise for the Barbarian. Thursday was very frustrating indeed. In the words of Conan Whitehead yesterday, why did everybody play their best against me? Well, it's a compliment, Conan. They know how dangerous you are. But he still believes he's going to make his way to the top 3. And I'm not going to say that he can't, Henry, because he's up against this young man who seems to have got a really good collection of golf shirts. Day 5, and he's on his 5th different colour.
I wonder if he qualifies for tomorrow night's finals, or he's going to have the
First leg
Tiger
is
Woods
Conor
red
to throw
for
first.
finals night. But Conor Heneghan has been in
Game
this
on.
position before. Remember Wednesday morning, he topped Group A overnight going into the final day's play. He didn't qualify through it. Andy Hamilton ending up winning the group. So it is a similar feeling for Heneghan. He'll just be hoping this time
134.
the emotions are very, very different.
I've got to get something out of the way, because whenever I say something that is incorrect,
60.
I must correct it immediately. I'm not one of those sports journalists or former pros that will constantly chomp at the bit and say, well, I thought this was
54.
right. I got it wrong yesterday saying that Conan Whitehead was a fan of Gillingham Football Club. He's actually a Welling United fan, so I apologise for that.
57.
And I also apologise to his wife, because it was just the wrong thing to say. I can't imagine if somebody said I was a Sunderland fan, I would take offence as well. But
135.
hello to Conan's wife, and hello to young Ada, who is Conan's new daughter. He was telling me all about why Ada was given that name. A
43.
beautiful story, but for me, that's a personal story. I don't want to go down that route. Just welcome to the world, Ada. Daddy's doing you proud.
Most definitely. Welling United, the
85.
Wings, Parkview Road, and one of the best burgers you'll get across all non-league football.
When? Sold? When? When are they playing?
I'll have to go FA Cup, actually.
I'll have to go with
Conor
Conan to make
Heneghan,
up what I said, from what I
93.
said yesterday. I'll buy him a burger, okay? Does that make us square, core? I think it does.
Well, this wouldn't feel square for Whitehead.
53.
Didn't feel at times the way his opponents were playing was fair. They just kept playing well against him, and Conan Whitehead, Conor Heneghan, should I say,
134.
has started well
Conor
in this
Heneghan, 40.
opening leg. Tops the seal it in 16.
Game shown in
17
the first leg. Conor
will do for
Heneghan.
Conor Heneghan, and the man who topped Group B overnight gets his campaign for Friday underway in perfect style. He leads Conan Whitehead by a leg to 0.
Second leg, Conan to throw first. Game on.
So far, we have 2 combatants who took part in Group A
60.
in the Saturday finals night. We do have 2 players in this group who came from Group A, and they both can still qualify. So at
140.
most, we would have 4 players who took part in the first 3 days in the Saturday night. The 2 players who took part in Group
100.
A, Heneghan and Smith-Neale, both getting multiple wins last night. And it'll be fascinating to see the reaction of the players from
57.
Group A going up against Moreno Blom tomorrow, because he's turned into a very different player all of a sudden. From Monday to Wednesday, he was the whipping lad.
140.
But now, you might have to class him as one of the favourites because he won Group C.
It's amazing how darts can change. And if there is a definition of darts being on the day, you mentioned it earlier,
58.
today is most certainly that.
In all the time that I've been working in this format, I've never seen a Group C day like today.
140.
That one is going to stick with me for a long time. And unfortunately for Scott Walters, you get the feeling it's going to stick with him for a long time as well. Today was the epitome of a nightmare.
It's how deep the scars
59,
will run
Conor
for him
Heneghan,
going
61.
forward. Well, Conan Whitehead here wanting 61 to level us up. You see why he went there with Heneghan not on a finish on the 187, going 25 first dart. Gives him one at double 16,
on the
and he
second leg.
pins it
Conor
perfectly.
Whitehead.
15 dart leg for Conan Whitehead to level us up at one apiece in this one.
Have you ever seen the movie The Day After Tomorrow?
Third Connor to throw
Haven't,
first.
no.
Game on.
You haven't? You and I have got to talk. Anyway, there's a line in that movie
85.
by Jake Gyllenhaal. And they're talking about whether his father is going to rescue him from the New York City
80.
Library in an earth-changing event. And he says, "Oh, don't worry, you'll make it." And they are the exact words that
42.
came from Conan Whitehead last night. He was outside of the venue just taking stock. And he said, "Don't worry, I'll make it."
180.
He's got no doubt in his mind coming into tonight that he's going to be here tomorrow as well. I love that attitude.
No matter how far your back is
93.
against the wall, you have to have belief. If you don't believe it, then there's no point turning up.
He loves playing round-robin darts, obviously, because he's won 3 times.
99.
Even after taking more than 6 months off from the game, he came back. He thought, right, it's time to get back on the horse. What's the first thing he did? He won a week. He obviously loves this format.
140. Conor Heneghan.
This is a great game all of a sudden. Whitehead has got a great opportunity now of getting the first break of throw in this leg, a double 11.
131. Conor Heneghan. 141.
And this 141 has to go, and this is just for a hold. Conan Whitehead is hot on his heels, looking for a break to open up a 2-1 lead. Well, we know that he hit a 141 yesterday.
99.
Is he going to
Conor
repeat the
Heneghan,
feat
11.
today?
Did he? I don't remember that. Only kidding. Of course he did. Double 4.
Game shot on the
Oh,
third leg.
beautiful.
Conor
Take a
Whitehead.
picture of that double 4. Stunning dart. Right in the heart of that green bed. Is it going to be the nightmare start that
Fourth
Heneghan
leg
had
Conor to throw
yesterday?
first. Game on.
It's fair to say that he's playing better than his first game yesterday. I would assume that if he does lose this first game to Conan
125.
Whitehead, the cat is amongst the pigeons, but is there an ideal time to lose a match? If there is, it's probably the first of the night because you can recover.
180.
However, as much as winning is a habit, losing can have the same feeling as well. But Conan Whitehead is in the zone.
180.
He is really feeling it tonight. The average is just below the ton. But what is Conor Heneghan doing here?
95.
Do you know how much the price was for a 9-darter last night?
Go on.
66 to 1. I thought it was only 22s, but the prices had drifted over
42.
the last few weeks. It was 66 to 1.
Been a week of interesting odds this week. Moreno Blom qualified top as an 80 to 1 outsider.
140.
The
Conor
9
Heneghan,
darts at 66 to
154.
1. And Conan Whitehead might be the outsider for this leg, but we know that this is very much a possibility. Tops for the 154. And that would have felt like a dagger blow for Conor Heneghan.
86.
What a really good effort that was. Conor's had a great leg of darts here. But it's only a great leg if he hits the ball.
44.
He's going to rue that.
Conor
you
Heneghan,
sense.
20.
Double 10 for a brilliant lead of 3-1.
Game shot on the fourth
Really
leg.
positive
Conor
stuff from
Whitehead.
Whitehead so far, brimming with confidence. And I was chatting to the guys in the studio, and Jason in particular at Sporty Stuff TV around 8:30 tonight, and they were asking for my
Conor to
tips.
throw first. Game on.
One of them was for this match to have more than 2.5 180s. We're 4 legs in,
96.
and we've already got 3. So if you followed that advice, well done. But remember, gamble responsibly. It's over 18s only.
140.
BigGambleAware.org for more information on that, if you need it.
You've instantaneously done better than I did last night.
But what I have done, Henry, is I've gone for exactly the same as one of your picks. As we get our 4th maximum of the match, I've gone for Heneghan to beat Furness by 4-1 at 6-1 a little bit later
100.
on.
Interesting times, and we'll watch that game with some interest later on this evening. But the full focus here for Conor Heneghan will be
96.
to turn around a 3-1 deficit here against the Barbarian, who just looks so relaxed and so at home on that stage this evening.
140.
He's got one of those actions
Conor
where
Whitehead,
when he's on it, you
129.
just know. Just looks so relaxed on that stage.
Another shot at the bull.
104.
It's closer,
Conor
but not enough.
121.
This would be the knockout blow. It would be brilliant for his leg difference, as well as his points total, which currently sits at 2.
97.
Still at the base of
Conor
the table.
25.
He could really do with winning at 4-1. he's
Game
not
shot
going
on the
to.
5th leg.
Because
Conor
Heneghan
Heneghan.
stays in the mix. This is the big leg, isn't it? Whitehead's got the darts. Dispose of your opponent now and do not go to leg
6 leg
7
Conor to
again.
throw first. Game
Because
on.
last night, it was leg 7 that was his downfall. Against Johnny Haines, he lost 4 legs to 3. Against Conor Heneghan, he lost 4 legs
55.
to 3. And they were the only 2 matches that went the distance involving Conan Whitehead. The only other one on the night was Adam Smith-Neale against Johnny Haines, which was a rather remarkable
50.
match without being spectacular. Standard-wise, anyway.
It had all the drama, even if at times the scoring wasn't quite up to scratch. But
140.
that was most certainly up to scratch for Conan Whitehead, who's averaging above a ton at this present moment in time. Heneghan 93.86, which
96.
when you compare it to some of the averages yesterday, it's far from stratospheric, but in most matches would get the job done, get you over the line. But Conan Whitehead has come out with real
45.
purpose here this evening.
Yeah, it's as if we've been served a little bit of pan-fried duck breast and a bit of pickled cabbage, which is beautiful. But last night we were getting 3-star Michelin dishes.
140.
Conan strikes me more of a Welling United burger kind of guy.
57.
Trust me, Conan, I'm not going to forget it. I owe you a Welling United burger.
I think that's our next docuseries sorted.
You're invited, Henry. Don't worry about that. I'll get you one as well.
55.
Perks of the job.
You never know. We might have our Christmas party at Welling United. Look at this.
125.
It's almost like he knew
Conor
that he'd done it
160.
wrong before he'd even thrown it. He was dreaming of leaving double 12, but now he's got a very awkward-looking 79.
45.
There
Conor
will be
79.
some volume from Conan if this is found. He's decided not to go double-double. And I think in this spot,
39.
that might actually be quite
Conor
a smart play.
115.
If he'd have got the shot at double 8, great. But he's basically saying, if Conor doesn't hit this, I want tops. However, here we go
Game shot on
again.
the 6th leg.
Here we
Conor
go
Heneghan.
again. Conan Whitehead has done everything right in this game so far, apart from giving himself a match shot. And he's got to break Heneghan just to get himself onto 4
Seventh and final
points
leg.
and into
Conor
the
to
mix
throw
tonight.
first. Game on.
And what was so telling as well was as soon as that double 19 went in, you could hear the roar from Conor. He said, get in there. He'll be thinking the same with that visit as well.
How many is that now? 5?
100.
Great game. Great game of darts.
It's not happening again to Conan, is it? It's not happening again to Conor, is it?
180.
Feels like Thursday again. He's going to believe that he's going to do this.
60.
He said he was trying to catch Gerwin Price for the most 9 darters in this year. Conor's got 2. Guess he's got 4, but Conor's not going to add to his total. But so far, we've seen Heneghan tested.
85.
And his ability to get himself out of darting quicksand has been nothing short of magical.
180.
Another maximum in this match. But Heneghan is on the cusp of victory on tops.
16.
One more chance for Conan.
161.
Last chance saloon for Whitehead. And he may take full advantage if he could have got the treble 17, which would have given him a go at the bull. And so Heneghan returns for tops for a 13-darter to seal victory in an absolute cracker.
Game shot in the match.
And it is that
Heneghan.
familiar feeling for Conan Whitehead. He's averaged 97.94, but is on the wrong end of defeat to Conor Heneghan, who hit 4 maximums in that match. 7 in total. What a game we were treated to in game 2 of our night. 4 out of 10 on the doubles for Heneghan, 3 out of 5 for Whitehead. But it was that 115 checkout for the Irishman which changed everything in that game. So, victory for Heneghan by 4 legs to 3 against Conan Whitehead. We're going to take a short break. When we return, we will see all of the 5 players in action this evening. And Adam Smith-Neale takes to the hockey against Johnny Haines.
welcome back. The evening's entertainment in full swing, isn't it, with that last affair between Conan Whitehead and Conor Heneghan. What a game it was. 7 180s shared between them. Heneghan hitting 4 of them, 2 of them as well in the last leg as he threatened another 9-dart finish, having hit one here last night. But for Conan Whitehead, a 97 average for him. It is his third 4-3 defeat in the 5 matches he's played. It leaves him at the bottom of the table with just 1 victory to his name. He's been so unlucky with all those last leg decider defeats. But Johnny Haines and Adam Smith-Neale can pull away from him and maybe a little bit closer to Conor Heneghan, who may well have just done enough, although we've been here before. I've said that kind of thing before, and maybe it's not wise to put someone through. Just ask Scott Walters if you're watching this afternoon. An incredible turnaround then. But Heneghan top, Whitehead bottom, and now the players in the middle jostling for position. Remember, 3 from 5 go through to finals night to join Andy Hamilton, Moreno, Blom and Lee Shewan, and a couple of them in contention in action now as Haines meets the former world master Adam Smith-Neale, and Paul and Henry will guide you through the action.
Thank you very much, Murph. And you sense already at this early juncture in this evening, it's a big game for Johnny Haines. On 4 points, he could be behind by 2 to Smith-Neale and Furness, and then 4 behind Conor Heneghan, and make his task with 2 games remaining after this very difficult indeed. So Adam Smith-Neale, the first time we're going to see him tonight, the final player that we're yet to see on this Friday evening here at the Super Series. And I think it's fair to say it was a bit of a mixed bag from him yesterday.
I think you can say that about Adam for the whole week, really. The 28-year-old from Nuneaton, throwing a very smooth barrel.
First leg is Johnny to throw first. Game on.
Playing his 5th consecutive day. I'm sure at the age of 28, he's still got plenty of energy left. I suppose that's
45.
the benefit of playing in Group B, that you can get as much sleep as you want. You can recharge your batteries as you see fit coming into the Friday night action. Show me a dart player that doesn't like playing on a Friday night. It's just the right time. They love doing it. They're used to it. And now we're into match 3.
100.
I expect Johnny Haines to go up a notch, especially in the knowledge that if he loses this match, he'll be outside the top 3.
Is it difficult for the player who comes in match 3 as the last player of the 5-2 play, because everyone's been on that hockey, they've had a game, they've had the chance just to work their way in?
Yes and no. I think you look at the amount of games he's played this week. If he's not sharp by now, he never will be. But then again, it's all about darts on the day. We've said that 96. Many times already so far on Friday. You still need to find that first double, find that first big score, just to settle yourself in. And Johnny Haines has already had that process against Ryan Furness, where he's brushed off the Friday cobwebs. But Smith-Neale doesn't look too shabby to me.
140.
Not bad at all. Even 84 after 12 against the darts in the opening leg. We were mentioning would there be some ring must being the last player to come out to play. Well, it's certainly not becoming apparent in this opening leg. Not at all. Double 12.
72.
But he's missed 2 darts in the opening leg, and Johnny Haines can step in with this 105.
Aha. Double top.
65. Adam Milcar, 12.
Open the bag of tricks on a 105. But Smith-Neale is looking at 6s. Wild.
6. Johnny Milcar, 40.
That's maybe what you've been talking about, Henry. Just looking a bit rusty on the outer ring at the start of this match. And Haines is in to take advantage, potentially.
Game shot on the
that's
first
exactly
leg.
what he does.
Johnny Haines.
21 darts is enough to take that first leg. And Smith-Neale did have his chances.
Just want to talk about his approach on the 105 there, because I suppose there's a double-edged sword to him. In one respect, you've got an open bed at tops to aim, and you haven't got a blocker with the treble 20 if you get it. But the other
92.
School of thought would be, well, you're going all the way down, and you're having to go up again, whereas the traditional route of treble 20, 5 for tops, you're all in one region.
There are so many different ways of doing things, but if you look back 40 years ago, what people would have talked about is maybe 2 routes.
58.
105 would be 60, 5 and tops, 60, 13, double 16, and that was pretty much it. You used to get these checkout cards when you bought a
100.
dartboard, and you would follow those to the letter. But what we've seen over the last 30 years or so is the game changing because of different countries giving their ideas for checkouts, and now everybody is a creative monster. 105's got loads of different ways. It's all about what you want to leave at the end and leaving open beds, because that's what people prefer now.
Give yourself much more target room. Well, you sense that there was room for one more potentially for Smith-Neale, but he couldn't find it with a third and final dart. It would have been just an opening for Haines if he could have got 2 trebles there, but he's given the full advantage back to Smith-Neale.
And he didn't have to go for the 220s in the ball.
58. Johnny O'Carr, 160.
So he's got the luxury of laying up, you would think. I said you would think. He's thinking tops.
Game
and for the 3rd time this week, we've seen a 160 out. Adam Smith-Neale is one of the players who has found it. But where did that come from? A 160 is the biggest checkout we've seen from Johnny Haynes.
That's like Johnny did
and he's now
first.
2-0 up. Just going to have a little look at his record when he's played here. Is that his
45.
best checkout? Well, he's actually equaled his best ever checkout with us. So well done, Johnny.
Go, Johnny, go. 2-0 up against Adam Smith-Neale, and you sense it's a big game for him if he can get himself onto 6 points with Joan Furness on that mark. Heneghan will be on 8. The winner of this game, regardless, will be on 6 points, and I suppose as he crashes in the first maximum of the match, Johnny Haines, if you're Conan Whitehead, you know that one of the players is going to get onto 6 points. I suppose in your head you'll be
85.
picking who do you want to face in effectively a shootout for that final position in 3rd.
I think what Conan's thinking right now is, I've got 3 matches left. If I don't win them all, I'm not going to qualify. Simple as that. I don't think he's the kind of player that really concerns himself about who he's playing. It's all about what he does.
One out
got
of
to give
40.
Heneghan a lot of credit in that 7-leg match in match 2. Conan didn't get a match start, and ultimately that's what you have to do. You have to stop your opponent getting a match start, and if you do that, you will win dart matches.
170.
Oh, what is going on with Johnny Haynes at the minute? A 170 approach, a 160 out, all in the last 2 minutes.
6.
And that's a disaster for Smith-Neale.
65.
As bad as it gets, and so Haines will have 6 on the 65 to open up a 3-0 lead.
Double 10.
55.
Smith-Neale didn't get to a finish from 180. That was really unfortunate, considering what's happened to him in the first 3 legs of this
43.
match.
Johnny O'Carr,
Whose
10.
black cat has he trodden on? It's going to be a split.
Game shot
And
on
a
the 3rd
beautiful
leg.
execution
Johnny
as well.
Haynes.
3-0 Haines. And if he's able to get the bagel, which would be only the 3rd 4-0 scoreline in both groups C and B so far over the last couple of days, because everything's been so well contested. He could get to 6 points and get his leg difference back to all square
99.
because it's currently at -4.
Which is staggering. We thought Group C was staggering. We could have another grandstand finish here in Group B this evening. Remember, it's the top 3 that go through to tomorrow night's finals, which will be played in front of a live studio
100.
audience.
What we have to mention as well are the riches for getting to Saturday night. If you just get there, you've got a £500 bonus.
100.
If you can get yourself through to the semi-finals, that climbs to £1,250. If you're the runner-up, you get £2.5 grand.
92.
Win, you not only get the place in Champions League, but you get £5,000. We're talking about big money over the next 26 hours.
58.
And we are talking about money that will secure your tour fees for the whole year. secure your fees for Challenge Tour, WDF, ADC, wherever you want to play.
Oh, on that note, let us send congratulations to Robert Owen, the first person to win through to the Champions Week. Actually won on the PDC Challenge Tour today. Congratulations to Stack Attack. And someone else who was played
Adam Yukar 151
is Robert Thornton. He was runner-up in the next Challenge Tour event, which was won by Wesley Plezier of the Netherlands, a very, very handy player.
Another one of that.
39.
Oh my goodness, that is as unlucky a dart as it could be for Adam Smith-Neale at the most unopportune time. Leaves himself on 112, but Johnny Haines can make a huge dent on this 163.
81.
He'd be favoured to
Adam Yukar
seal a
112.
4-0 win.
If Adam Smith-Neale didn't have bad luck, he wouldn't have any luck at all.
88. Johnny Yukar 82.
He's only had darts that are double in one leg in this match. Haines is looking at 77 to finish the whole thing. Well, there's the 7.
66. Adam Yukar
Decent
24.
visit. But Smith-Neale needs to start the comeback trail right here on a double. He's already missed in this match, and he finds double 6.
Adam Smith-Neale.
So that's 20 darts to complete leg 4. What he's got to do from here is up the ante.
It feels like a long time ago when we were in leg 1 and Adam Smith-Neale got out the blocks firing.
Johnny
He was
to
on
go
double
first.
12
Game
for a
on.
potential 13 dart leg, and we thought he's in the mood, he's in the groove tonight. He's averaging a shade under 81, but Johnny Haines has just taken the game by the scruff of the neck.
We're seeing a pattern develop this evening, and that is worrying for Adam.
121.
The people throwing first in the match are winning. Furness had the darts. Heneghan had the
97.
darts. Haines has got the darts in this match. Smith-Neale will have the darts
38.
2 more times tonight in different fixtures, and then he will not have them against Whitehead in match 9.
His next
60.
game is against Heneghan, who tops the group in a couple of games' time, and he may be going into that in search of a victory, in need of a victory on the back of a
97.
potentially
Johnny
heavy
Yukar
defeat here against Johnny Haines,
164.
because he has 6 and 164 to wrap up a 4-1 victory on the back of a 4-1
60.
defeat in the opening game of the night against Ryan Furness. He leaves 104. All Smith-Neale can do now is apply all sorts of pressure and hope that there is a mistake from the
123.
punk.
Johnny Yukar 104.
He was sitting on something very small when Smith-Neale found leg 4.
Game shot on
Well,
the
that's a
match.
ton
Johnny
plus out.
Haines.
From Johnny Haines, not for the first time. The 160 in that match was a definitive highlight. But there you have the average, 86.83. The 160 was some shot, especially when Smith-Neale was rocked by it. 1 shot hit from 7 is not good enough for Adam, and the 83 average is going to have to improve if he is going to find more points. But yet again, whoever threw first, they're the ones getting the points. Will that be the case for Conan Whitehead when he plays against Ryan Furness after this short break?
Well, we're getting closer to knowing which 6 players will be on that stage tomorrow at finals night, and you could be here as well as part of the crowd. We do have a live audience on Saturday nights, and tickets are available for free via dartshop.tv. So do check that out. You can book yourself a place here tomorrow or any of the Saturday night sessions here at the MODUS Super Series. The last match, fantastic victory for Johnny Haines, a 4-1 success against Adam Smith-Neale. The highlight, that massive 160 checkout for the punk. And that means that things are looking very, very interesting in the Group B table. Conor Heneghan, after winning his first match, top of it, but Johnny Haines joins Ryan Furness on 6. Adam Smith-Neale just behind a pair of them. Conan Whitehead on 2 after another 4-3 loss. 3 of his 4 defeats have been in last leg deciders so far, but his only victory so far did come against Ryan Furness yesterday, and he will be looking to repeat that here to keep himself firmly in the race. Remember, 3 go through to join Andy Hamilton, Lee Shewan and Moreno Blom, and everybody still very much in the mix. Back to Paul and Henry.
Thank you very much, Murph. And you sense that this part of a Friday evening comes the important games in terms of the race of third place. You can jostle for position as we make the sprint for the line. And for Conan Whitehead, I think the situation is as simple as this. He has to win all 3 games and see what cards fall.
Very true, Henry. And the good thing for him is that the people he wants to catch are right in front of him. He can take points away from them and add to his total. So the best he can do now is 8 points. That's where Heneghan is already. Furness and Haines would get to 8 points if they win their next matches.
First leg is Conan to throw first.
Feel
Game on.
that Whitehead has got to be perfect from here. It's a knockout scenario. But let's look at what he's got to do. He's playing Furness now. He's playing
100.
Johnny Haines after that. And then in the penultimate match of the night, it's going to be Adam Smith-Neale. And that's the only person who he's within reach of as of this match.
98.
A win for Whitehead, and he will make sure that Smith-Neale goes bottom.
Indeed, and we know how quickly these groups can
75.
swing. We've seen players who have had really good first nights not qualifying. Then we've had players who have been sat on 2 points, have made the run for the line on the second day, and have managed to squeak in third. That is what
98.
Conan Whitehead will be hoping to do here. But Ryan Furness, a bit like last night, has come out the blocks firing in the early stages of the evening. Averaging 98, of course, early days in this first leg.
57.
It'll be about doing it over the course of 4 games as opposed to smaller spurts.
Very much so. I think he doesn't want to be noted as the kind of player who starts well but finishes weak.
60.
He had a good first game, a great second game, but after that, it was consequently the 3rd game of the night against Conan Whitehead where he started to struggle.
171.
Nothing struggling about that one. Maximum downstairs for Conan, but 79.52 was the average for Furness. He got 1 hit at a double out of 9 attempts.
59.
That was not
Conan
a good performance.
98.
And that continued when he played Johnny Haines later. Double 16.
Game shot on the
Exactly
first leg.
what
Conan
he wanted.
Whitehead.
I love how he turns those 2-dot checkouts into 3-dot checkouts. It's as if he forgoes the fact that double 19 even exists. He just wants to make sure
Like Ryan
that
to
he's
throw
going for
first. Game
18s for
on.
16s and tops. He doesn't really want anything else.
Outside the PDC, there's not many better players in terms of breaking down finishes than Conan Whitehead.
140.
It's a strong statement, but I have to agree with you. Courage of your conviction. You have to have a game plan.
60.
You should never play the game the way that somebody else does. Do things that you're comfortable doing, that's for sure.
Individuality is everything.
136.
And individually at the minute, Ryan Furness is playing well. Leg down in this one. Obviously the first went with throw in Whitehead's direction. But he's making huge inroads on the Furness throw in leg 2.
Hasn't had a shortage of maximums tonight, that's for sure. And he has the darts, does Conan. And everybody's won with the darts so far tonight. Okay, time to put you on the spot. Is Conan going to qualify?
180. Ranu car 120.
Do I answer on the back of that?
I'm not going against him. I think he's going to do it. But this is not good news.
100.
Maybe things are turning for Conan all of a sudden. Maybe he knows what he has to do. He's got to find 2 180s in to get himself a chance at the bull.
56.
Oh, so close.
Brand new car 20.
And amazingly, he's hit back-to-back maximums in this leg, and all he was given was one opportunity at the bull. And that's credit to Ryan Furness.
10.
But he can't finish it off. And so Whitehead will return. Maybe fortunes are changing for the Barbarian.
4-4.
Game
monstrous shot in the corner.
Whitehead.
You just sense that maybe fortune favours Conan the Barbarian, whereas over the first 5 matches of his campaign in Group B, things have just not gone his way.
They'd like Conan to throw first. Game on.
I'm a big believer in you create your own luck, and at some point, if you play well, you're
94.
going to get the rewards.
That treble 18 is a real friend when he needs it. He's one of the most prolific treble 18 shooters. And it's not because
26.
he goes for it more than other players. It's because he hits it more than other players if he needs it. And last night, he wasn't using it a great deal.
140.
When you think of treble 18 switches, there's only one player that enters my mind, and that's David Pallett.
45.
Oh, there's 2 crossed my mind. One, the great Dennis Priestley, who was the first player ever to use the sexy treble 18 switch as much back in the 1991 Lakeside World Championship. And Rob Cross. He revived the treble 18 switch. And look at that.
127.
As if they're listening to us.
127.
One area of the board that Conan doesn't need is the treble 18.
Game
Oh,
shot on the
hello.
third leg.
3-0 it is. And he's basically drawn a line in the sand and said, I've had enough of this now. Give me this game and give me 4 legs without response.
And the war from Whitehead was saying, let's have it.
To throw first. Game
Don't
on.
you love that we're getting that now in this arena? I'm starting to see the change as we get closer to Saturday.
100.
The tension lifts and these players are starting to give it some now.
The personalities are beginning to come out in this format here, in this particular
44.
arena. In the old room back in Southampton, where it was enclosed, it was boxed off. I think players are a bit more mindful and a bit more... Respectful is not the word, because they're still respectful in the celebrations.
83.
But they were mindful to celebrate because of the environment and the parameters. Here, big stage, open room. They're not afraid to give it some welly.
Yeah,
100.
This is one of the things I was looking forward to at the back end of this week. Seeing players like Conan and some of the others like Andy Hamilton, for instance, who gave it some when he hit his Group A winning bullseye.
174.
Oh, treble 18 comes to the assistance of Furness once again. What a great game this has been. And Conan's dream of 4-0.
Ranu
maybe
car
extinguished.
144.
Good seems to follow Conan Whitehead everywhere he goes in this group. The perfect from 144 won't go for Ryan Furness, although he is
53.
going to return for 91. As Whitehead's back on 217, but he's not going to be for much longer. Not at all.
131. Ranu
Beautifully
car
done.
91.
Great use of the dartboard. Might go double-double here. He's looking south at the 34 and finds it for tops.
Game shot on the fourth leg.
Sensational.
Ryan Furness.
This game is delivering great use of all sides of this dartboard. The treble 18s have been brilliant. The use of the double-double. And as soon as Whitehead's thinking, right,
This leg is
now I've
Conan
got my
to throw
chance to get a
first. Game
bagel
on.
win, Furness says, I'm not ready to go back into the practice room yet.
This is pure entertainment for the purists, those that love the intricacies of the game.
121.
Quality encounter. Conan Whitehead here, incidentally, is averaging over 107. 19-point disparity in the averages. That's just gone down as a result of that. Here we go. Those are the averages on your screen. 107.32 for Whitehead, 86.83 for Furness.
60.
2 maximums as well in the match for Whitehead. That is 6 for the night. And we're possibly only midway through game 2.
Conan's personal best average is in excess of 107.
13.
Believe me, he's not worried about that right now. All he wants are those 2 points to keep himself in the running. If you look at all of these players in this group, they've all got really big personal best averages. In fact, the worst of the lot is Johnny Haines at 102.49. That tells you something.
59.
Really good standard in this group, and it's coming up to the boil and coming up to fruition very quickly. And Conan Whitehead is coming up to the boil very quickly
100.
in his leg.
I was just about to say, Henry, that second dart hitting the 20 was a blessing, because it means that if he'd got the second 60, he basically said to himself the bust shot doesn't exist. Now, it's 2 double tops for the win.
40.
He's halfway there.
Would have been some way to seal it. And still a superb performance from the Barbarian, who puts himself right back into contention if he can get this match-winning tops.
And he would have a better leg difference than Ryan Furness. Things are far from done in this group. We've got 4 wins in the book. Our first ton-plus average of the night comes from Conan Whitehead, the ultimate fighter. 44% on the doubles. Ryan Furness had no answer to Conan Whitehead in this group, losing twice to him in 25 hours. 4 games have gone with the darts. Adam Smith-Neale will be hoping that continues in match 5, because that comes in a few short moments when Conor Heneghan takes on ASN after this.
Welcome back. Well, that was what the doctor ordered, wasn't it, for Conan Whitehead? He needed that victory, and he went and got it as well. A 4-1 success with an average of 103.67. Brilliant stuff. A 1-2-7 in game checkout in there as well against Ryan Furness. Whitehead really needed that victory to move himself off 2 points in the league table. And he goes ahead of Adam Smith-Neale on leg difference. Ryan Furness and Johnny Haines on 6. Conor Heneghan on 8 points at the top. And if he wins his next match, that would secure his spot at finals night. He was almost there in Group A, wasn't he? And then he took a big step towards making it through with some thrilling performances last night, including in the fixture against Smith-Neale when he produced this perfect leg. He's second in this tournament and the first man to do it on the new stage here at the MODUS Super Series. Wonderful stuff from Conor Heneghan. Big moment for him. This is a big match for him. If he wins it, he is through, and Adam Smith-Neale will have work to do. That was 107 average, by the way, for Conor Heneghan in the reverse fixture last night. Wasn't even his best performance, so big chance now for him to book his place, and then there'll be 2 left. But Adam Smith-Neale will have something to say about that, and so will Paul and Henry.
Thank you very much, Chris. And when he came up to speak to you last night, as happy as he was with the 9 darts and the big averages, he said there was only one thing on his mind, and that was to qualify for tomorrow night's finals. He was disappointed not to do it on Wednesday. He didn't want to be here on Thursday and Friday. He wanted the 2 days off, which he would have got for winning Group A, but he may use up his second chance here to perfection. A victory here against Adam Smith-Neale would qualify him for the finals tomorrow night.
So by that token, you'd fancy Heneghan's going to make it, but he doesn't want to go the same way as Scott Walters, unfortunately, who couldn't find 1 win on Friday after getting 5 out of 5 on Thursday. The rest of the day, we'll see Heneghan take on Smith-Neale in this game.
First leg, he's Adam to throw first.
He will have Johnny Haines in game 8 and Ryan Furness in game 10. There is a possibility that everything could be done by game 10. But as far as Smith-Neale's concerned,
42.
His schedule is very much compact now. He's playing game 5, game 7 and game 9. So 3 games 58. Out of 5. He's got to get a move on. He's now at the bottom and he can't stay there.
You sense this is must win for the man
60.
that we've renamed ASN this week.
Sounds like a news network, doesn't it?
It does. Very American-like.
The Adam Sports Network.
59.
Do you reckon we'd get a job on there?
No. Adam doesn't even like me.
Well, that's the end of that one then.
96.
He was full of beans last night, was Conor, wasn't he? After that 9-darter and those 2
81.
performances, it was scary to think that the 107 average against Adam was his second best performance. After 3 games last night, he was averaging over 100.
44.
Came back a little bit when he got that squeaky win over Conan Whitehead in match 9 with an 87 average, but still for the night he was very, very impressive.
127.
One of the best Group B nights that I've seen from an individual.
Hard to disagree, and we had the opportunity to have a chat with Conor as
99.
well before we all left the building last night, and it was like nothing ever happened. It was just the same old Conor, nice, relaxed in nature.
60.
He knows that he's still got a job
Adam
to do,
Neale
and that's the important thing for
160.
him. He knows that it's far from done. This leg could be far from done because Smith-Neale has taken out the 160 this week. Not on this occasion, so
140. Conor
returns
Heneghan 116.
for double 10, unless this 116 goes for an opening leg breaker throw. Well, it's still on if you can get the treble 17. And now the bullseye. And that would have been
80.
a great
Adam
darting
Neale
recovery.
20.
But Smith-Neale will return for double 10.
No score. Conor
Things
Heneghan
just aren't
36.
being found accurately and promptly. Can't leave Heneghan getting bonus legs like this.
Game
That's
shot
exactly
in the
what
first
he's
leg.
got.
Conor Heneghan.
20-dart break of throw. Adam Smith-Neale is just starting to tire. I did not think he would be in this situation after the first two matches of Group A on Monday. He looked strong, he looked ready, but this is a marathon when you play it
59.
potentially 5 days leading into Saturday. Now, I've just done a little bit of a search on the hometown of Conor Heneghan. I'm pretty good on Ireland geography, but I didn't know where Roundfort was. It's north of Galway, which... You ever been to Galway?
134.
Yeah. What a place. But it's north of Galway. And I haven't been in that region of Ireland before. It
81.
It does look rather pretty. Now that I know he's from there, I'm going to have to go over there. Have you been to Ireland?
I haven't, no. I need to.
Really, Henry? Come on.
121.
One of the most beautiful countries on earth.
So we're going to get a burger at Welling, and then the next day we're going to Ireland. Is that the plan?
It does depend on whether I win the Euro Millions tonight. And we can get an electric car and take the ferry, because we're very sustainable here at the MODUS Live League. MODUS Super Series.
99.
As long as you come back tomorrow night if you win the 100 million quid.
Oh yeah, I'll just come back to brag.
Luckily, I can put the mute button on if I have to.
123.
Good point.
Conor Heneghan, 88.
Now, they say this is the crazy number. Double 14.
Game
Nothing crazy about that.
Conor Heneghan.
Wonderfully done. And Smith-Neale, no matter what he does, it looks like Conor has got the answer.
From the excellence of yesterday, it's been the proficiency and efficiency in this one against Adam Smith-Neale. When you look at the statistics and you break it down, an 88.41 average, 50% on the doubles. And in terms of the scoring phase, Smith-Neale's had 2 140 pluses, but it's been Heneghan who's been more consistent in the ton plus department, which has given him the opportunities.
84.
Won that previous leg in 14.
The bad news keeps coming for Smith-Neale if he doesn't fix this situation quickly.
99.
He's got 4 points. And the worst leg difference, if he was to suffer a big defeat here, all of a sudden, there's that chasm between himself and the rest of the field in the most truncated format that we have in a group leading into the finals night. He's in real trouble now.
Absolutely. He's been snookered.
45.
Almost behind the whole pack of yellows and pinks and greens, and he cannot find an escape route to
100.
the reds. And he hasn't even got breathing space in this leg either with the darts. He's first to a finish, but you'd fancy Heneghan to get at least a treble.
47.
Won't even get the 25 until he 167, so maybe that's a good sign for Smith-Neale right now. He can leave something pretty gettable.
58.
But you sense his disdain at that shot. He was not happy with a trebleless visit right there.
96. Adam Heneghan, 90.
Feel a little bit happy if the 90 goes. Just give him a leg on the board. Just give him something to work with. 2 darts at double 15.
62.
But he goes
Conor
inside, and
Heneghan,
Heneghan to go 3-0 up and to put Smith-Neale not just on the canvas, but out of the ring.
I did find 88. How about 89 on the bull?
44.
That was just a little bit
Adam Heneghan, 28.
messy. That's not ideal. That's why. You see that bounce off the other dart? It was just colliding with his first flight, which was firmly in the way. And Heneghan, who had a 20 dart break of throw in leg 1, is looking for another break on 20 darts. On double 9.
27. Adam Heneghan, 28.
Things are getting very edgy. Nothing
21.
is going right for Adam.
Conor
His first
require
start at double 14. I don't really know what to say about it. It was maybe the worst start he's thrown all week.
There was just no conviction, was there? And this is getting very edgy. Double
Game
four.
shot on the third leg. Conor Heneghan.
And okay, it was a 24 dart leg, but Conor Heneghan just had to release a little bit of emotion there. He knows how important this is, because if he holds in this leg,
Forfeit Conor to throw first.
he will
Game
progress through to Saturday night's finals. It would be redemption for the man from round 4 after missing out so narrowly
90.
on Wednesday to qualifying from Group A, having led the table overnight, similarly to this scenario.
So what does that say about Heneghan? The fact
43.
that he could win this group after being so close to winning Group A.
$93.
He's just picking off this leg. 1 treble visits should be enough.
60.
And he's just doing enough, because Adam Smith-Neale at the minute has got nothing in answer. His race may have been run.
135.
It's been a long week. They just emptied the tank once too many.
40.
And Conor Heneghan has 6 on 183 to progress through to Saturday night's finals.
58.
Adam's only beaten Conor once this week. It was on Wednesday by 4 legs to 3. Averages in that game were in the mid to high 80s.
140. Conor require 125.
But you just sense it's a matter of time before Heneghan wins again. It might be right now.
Game
And it is
shot
right
on the
now.
match.
A
Conor
15
Heneghan.
darter, and that confines Smith-Neale to the basement of the table, but more so now because of that 4-0 loss. 82 for Conor is a little different to what we saw from him against Adam Smith-Neale yesterday. A difference of 25 in the averages. But I tell you what, Conor doesn't care, because we've got a bit of news about him. He's in Saturday night now, so we now have 4 competitors in the finals. Conor now has one more job to do tonight, and that is to win this group. We will take a short break, and when we come back, it will be Johnny Haines against Conan Whitehead. I'm going to go up the gantry to see what's happening up there with Chris Murphy after this.
Welcome back. I've got a bit of company up here on the gantry now. Paul Nicholson joins me. Paul, we've seen 5 matches so far in this session. Conor Heneghan now through 2 finals night. Andy Hamilton, Lee Shewan and Moreno Blom have also got company there as well. 2 places left up for grabs. We'll take a look at the league table, but just tell us what you think has been the most significant result so far tonight.
I'd probably have to say from Conor Heneghan's perspective, getting the win against Conan Whitehead earlier tonight by 4 legs to 3 in what was an incredibly 180 filled match. I think that was huge for his chances. He didn't want to have the same sort of start after holding the clubhouse lead overnight like he did on Tuesday night going through to Wednesday when he got a really bad start, but getting that 4-3 win was huge for him, and you can see what he's done to Adam Smith-Neale since then. But that's not saying that Conan Whitehead's out of this. He's very much back in it after putting in the performance of the first half of the night, and now he's up against Johnny Haines, who is he's not been on Conan's level from the previous game, so it'll be interesting to see what happens next.
Yeah, a couple of wins for Conor, a couple of defeats for Adam Smith-Neale. Is the big dog now the underdog?
Firmly. His leg difference is almost in the dog bowl, so he's going to have to dig himself out somehow. I don't know how he's going to do it. I've said that I think Conan's still going to qualify, so if he's going to get through and Conor's already gone, who's going to join them?
Well, time for more treats if we're going to stay down that little route. Conan Whitehead against Johnny Haines. Paul Nicholson is going to go downstairs to Henry Deacon to guide you through the action. Henry, like our little excited puppy here at the MODUS Super Series.
Thank you very much indeed, Chris. I'll take that. I'll take it as a compliment. Everyone loves a little puppy, I suppose. Every player in this group would like to get 2 points. For no one is it more crucial right now than for Conan Whitehead. He has to win everything you think from here on in. And first prerogative is to get the W over Johnny Haines, the punk. Haines, who before the start of the night, 15-2 to progress as a group winner. Whitehead 14-1 in the outright market. Johnny Haines, you could get at 12-1 to win come tomorrow night. Whitehead 16-1, but the objective for these two will be just to qualify to get there tomorrow evening. The 58-year-old Haines, the punk from Swindon, throwing a 21-gram Harrows dart. Made the PDC World Championship in 2013, made the WDF World Championship this year. As for Conan Whitehead, the 36-year-old from Raynham in Kent, throwing a 23-gram 180 dart. The Barbarian is a former quarterfinalist of the BDO World Championships. It's going to be Haines that has the honour in the odd-numbered legs, so Conan Whitehead will need a break at some point in this game. A game that he has to win to keep his chances of progressing very much alive. It has been a case that every single opponent he's been up against this week has played to some kind of good level. He'll be hoping that his hapless luck from yesterday has changed tonight. Beating Ryan Furness in the last one by 4 legs to 1. Can he do what he hasn't done so far this week and pick up back-to-back victories, I wonder?
No time like the present, Henry, that's for sure.
83.
I've seen a couple of tweets tonight, in fact, that have mentioned the game that Conan had with Conor Heneghan, and everybody was loving the standard of that one. The amount of 180s that we saw, and as if my words are magic, hey presto, here is the first 180 of the match from Johnny Haines.
100. Johnny McCarr, 121.
We promise we see these pictures as live.
You
97.
can see that Johnny's getting the chalk out now for extra grip. A lovely start. The game they had yesterday was extremely exciting. One of 2 4-3s that Conan was involved in. He lost them both. And he's lost the one match that it was 4-3 with him involved tonight. Maybe hoping that it's not going to go all the way.
18. Conan McCarr, 160.
There should be some way to announce yourself in this match.
Be yet another 160. It could be yet another 160. It is another 160. And look at the emotion from Conan Whitehead. He knows how much it means. Johnny Haines with a sporting fist bump as well. But my word, what a start for Conan
Corner
Whitehead.
to throw
You
first.
wouldn't
Game
want to be
on.
on the end of that punch, would you? That was one heck of a celebration. But let us pay credit where credit's due.
100.
This is a dart player that just doesn't know the meaning of the word quit. But that second dart, let me just paint a very interesting picture for you.
85.
He's hit the bottom portion of the 60 on that first dart. He's thrown that second one so hard that he's created a gap between the point and the wire
92.
that probably wasn't even there. He's manipulated the integrity of the bottom wire to make sure that there was enough room just to get it in the right bed.
100.
What a player to watch. I'm not just saying this because he's playing right now, but in Super Series darts over the
98.
last couple of years, there are not many players that I enjoy watching more than Conan. He's just a thrill a minute.
You know what you're going to get
81.
with Conan. What you see is what you get with Conan. He wears his heart on his sleeve.
It's one of the reasons why I want to see him tomorrow night, because
60.
he is brilliant to watch live through a screen as well as in person. He's the kind of combatant that if you put up against a Hamilton or a Heneghan that we've already seen tonight, what kind of matches are you going to get? Look at what we're seeing from these two. We're not going to get another big haymaker. But Haines, who's playing
93.
really well in the
Johnny
scoring
O'Connor,
phase
58.
in this match so far, has left himself 58 like his opponent, but one visit less. That could be costly. Let's find out.
18.
It
Johnny
really
O'Connor,
was
58.
Whitehead to double the lead, the same shot.
Haines has dominated the opening of both of these two legs.
18.
But
Johnny
Whitehead
O'Connor,
couldn't convert
40.
the final double to finish it off for the second straight leg. So Haines will return for double top for one apiece for the break back.
Game shot on the second leg.
And gets
Johnny
there in the
Haynes.
end. That's his sixth double he's thrown in this game. The first one that he's managed to hit. And gets us level at one apiece. And Conan Whitehead may feel that was an opportunity missed there.
Definitely.
Third leg, Johnny to throw first. Game on.
Times like this, you have to try and read the face of Conan Whitehead. I was trying to say that with a straight face, but as soon as I started to talk, there was that
100.
animalistic approach from the alpha male. There aren't many players who throw a dart
83.
harder than him. But we must pay attention to his predicament. Haines is ahead of him in the table on points,
100.
but not in leg difference. That means that Whitehead would go to the top three after playing the same amount of matches as Haines
41.
if he wins. That makes this, in my opinion, the biggest game of this group so far. Haines is at it again.
140.
He's at a 180, a 177, and almost a second maximum there. Scoring-wise in this
140.
match, he's
Johnny
been
O'Connor,
superb in the
161.
first 9.
But it's been on the finishing. It's been his downfall so far. He's got 6 and 161 here. Been left to finish after 9 darts.
99.
He's going to leave himself on 62 after 12. Should get at least a dart for the leg.
95.
Is Conan
Johnny
leaving
O'Connor,
himself just a
62.
little bit too much to do at the end of legs? It seems to be happening every single time. Double top.
42.
This is a big ask.
Conor
Might
Heneghan,
look at the 17s.
142.
They decided to stay on the 60s. 2 of them would have left double 11.
43.
That last dart
Johnny
is
O'Connor,
not good because
20.
it still leaves a 3-darter. Shouldn't make any difference. It
Game
doesn't,
shot on the
because for the
third
second
leg,
time
Johnny
in this
Haynes.
match, Johnny Haynes owns a leg and now takes the lead for the first time.
Indeed he does. And remember, Whitehead had the opportunity to open up a 2-0
Off
lead.
by
He
Conan
had
to
2
throw
darts
first.
for it.
Game on.
They came and went. And the story of this match is very different. And as a consequence, The story of Conan Whitehead's chances of progressing through this Group B are now very, very different. But that is some way to start leg 4. Has the darts in this leg, has to hold. Simple as that. Cannot afford to be broken at this juncture.
60.
Otherwise, he's having to win 3 straight legs to win this game and to stay in the group. He'll be staring down every single possible barrel.
140.
Just to make things really simple, we know that 6 points is not going to be enough. Ryan Furness has got 2 more matches left. He's 100. On 6 points. He's got to play Heneghan in game 10, and he plays Smith-Neale next. Because of the games he's lost to this point, that's why Whitehead's predicament is so tough. But whenever he is backed against the wall, look at what he does. 41 after 9.
Conor Heneghan 41.
Doesn't know the meaning of the word submit.
No score.
It's not the end of the world. If he was busting 141, I would say that was a real error, but he still has a very manageable 2-darter with Johnny only at the halfway point.
100. Conor Heneghan 41.
To bring him back to 2 apiece for a 14-darter.
He'll
take that nicely.
Conan Whitehead.
You could tell the reaction from Conan Whitehead. He's getting himself psyched up. He knows it's a big few minutes ahead of him. Once again, he's involved in another rip-roar of the game. 90 averages apiece.
This like Johnny to throw first.
He's just bringing the best out of people.
I think he is.
100.
I think that first shot of 41 was just a practice swing, you know. Next time he gets it perfectly. When they played yesterday, the averages were decent.
140.
Actually very similar to this. Haines won with a 90.14, 40% on doubles. Conan losing with the superior average of 91.8.
140.
He did miss more shots at the outer ring than Johnny did. That's why he lost.
It's been a group of fine margins thus far. That is a huge visit there for Conan Whitehead. It just perhaps swings a leg in his favour, but then as Conan Whitehead comes out swinging with a big visit, Johnny Haines just lands a jab, but it's still advantage Whitehead.
This game is like a Newton's cradle.
140.
Look at the disappointment with the 140, a third of the leg. Nobody has taken a finish of this ilk this week.
43.
And that's a mistake.
81.
Got to gobble this up. Double 18.
63. Johnny Heneghan 100.
I've barely seen him on double 18 this week. And for that reason, I think that's why he missed it. Haines has missed the 60, which would have left him double
30.
19.
But
Whitehead
18.
might split this.
He will split this. He'll go for double 4 for the break. Now to double 2.
16.
But that's a huge miss.
Johnny Heneghan 88.
That is a massive miss for Whitehead. And Haines returns at 88 for a 3-2 lead. You can't say he hasn't had opportunities in this game.
Oh, boy. Missed single from Haines. The disgust on his face.
48. Conan Heneghan
And Whitehead
2.
has had a go at one of the next door neighbours a double 18 and missed it.
On
but the one on the other side is
Whitehead.
kind for a 3-2 lead, and that's now a break. He could find himself in the top 3 for the first time post the next leg. You just fancy
6 leg Conan to throw first. Game on.
The scenarios we had earlier on, Henry, where if Steve Brown had lost by 4 legs to 1 in the last match today, Scott Walters would have gone through on legs won by 1 solitary leg. So that's why I'm saying if Conan wants to get through, he may need to win this by 4 legs to 2, not 4 legs to 3.
Every leg matters in this format.
125.
There's no other format than Group B that amplifies it.
If Conan was to ever invent his own brand
45
of motivational drink, that would give you the spirit that he's got right now, I would buy truckloads of it.
85.
The amount of motivation he has conjured over the last couple of hours has been nothing short of inspirational to someone like me. You look at how much it means to him.
60.
And
Conor
considering
Heneghan, 151.
less than 6 months ago, he wasn't even playing because he didn't enjoy it anymore. He's enjoying it now.
There's most certainly a rebound effect for Conan Whitehead. And incidentally, if you
91.
were going to buy some of that, it would be strong. So I'd recommend sensible portion sizes.
Yeah, lots of caffeine.
Boy, is that needed tonight.
Not when you've got action like this.
134. Conor Heneghan, 68.
Don't even need the eye clamps. Double top for a great result.
Game
And
shot
to
of the
keep
match,
himself
Conor Whitehead.
in contention, Conan Whitehead still has a chance of progressing through Group B. He joins the list of names on 6 points, courtesy of a 4-2 victory against Johnny Haines with an average of just below 92.5, a maximum to his name, 4 from 13 on the checkouts, but the highlight was most certainly that 160 checkout. That is going to be on the highlights reel. That is for certain. When we return after the break, well, this is absolutely massive for Adam Smith-Neale. He's at the foot of the table. He'll be eliminated if he fails to find victory against Ryan Furness.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where we're all set up for a bit of a grandstand finish in the race to join Conor Heneghan in qualifying for finals night from Group B. And we've just seen Conan Whitehead for the first time put himself in the provisional spots. He's now in the top 3 after that excellent display against Johnny Haines, which included 160 checkout, and he averaged more than 92 as well in that one. Darting defiance from Whitehead. Tonight, we'll take a look at the league table. It makes interesting reading because if Adam Smith-Neale manages to get the better of Ryan Furness in this game, you'll see that all 4 players below Heneghan, who's already qualified, would be on 6 points, all of them with a game left to play. What a fitting finale that would be to this Freaky Friday here at the Super Series. But if Smith-Neale does lose, as he did yesterday to Furness, then he will be the first player to be eliminated from this group. Enough talking. Let's get the action underway. Paul Hinks is the referee. Henry Deacon and Paul Nicholson are your commentators.
Thanks, Murph. Yes, the abacus is at the ready. Can you imagine if it is 4 players on 6 points behind Heneghan, who is sitting pretty at the top, like a very resplendent parrot, looking down at all of the other ones trying to join him. But Heneghan will be back for 2 of the final 3 matches. He's got Johnny Haines and Ryan Furness to come, and he's going to have a big bearing on who qualifies behind him, Henry.
Not just the fact he's going to be the man, it looks as if he's going to top the group. He could well be the kingmaker as to who the 2 alongside him will be at finals night tomorrow night. Everything's in his hands.
Yeah, there's 2 words that come to mind right now if you're Conor Heneghan. Imagine
First leg, he's had him to throw first.
Trying to be the king at the top.
Game on.
There's 2 words are come hither. Come with me to Saturday night. And isn't it great to see, again, a melee of players with 4 matches to go.
136.
And everybody can still get through. Well, there was 5 matches to go when it came to Group C earlier, and everybody could still get through then, but
90.
things changed pretty quickly. Bit like that movie, isn't it? The famous Day Off from Ferris Bueller. He said,
60.
life moves pretty fast.
Very quickly indeed. Must have that on VHS.
No. One of the best movies ever made.
100.
Matthew Broderick saying, life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and take a look around in once in a while, you could miss it.
98.
That is our 12 o'clock lecture on a Friday night completed.
Are you telling me you've never seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
I have.
Good lad, you've just redeemed yourself.
93.
What you don't know is Nico is actually opening the door and he was actually going to kick the chair that I'm currently occupied in for a sea of walls.
I would have given
85.
you a Mr. Rooney if you'd said you hadn't seen that movie. I would have expelled you. Now, Ryan Furness has been
98. Adam
in the
Ilkar,
qualifying positions
122.
most of the time over the last couple of days. Smith-Neale is getting... Hold on.
82. Ryan Ilkar, 120.
Answers on a postcard?
Yeah, I didn't expect him to go bullseye there. Not in that spot. I really thought the 18s were the player, but
60. Adam
more fool me
Ilkar,
because the
40.
first start was perfect. How about this one? This has been where things have gone wrong over the last couple of days.
20.
His doubling has been
Ryan Ilkar,
very
60.
poor. He had 10 shots at double in his previous match and hit none of them.
And Furness here can pick up a pieces
Game shot on
in a
the
leg
first
that he
leg,
was in
Ryan
at no
Furness.
point whatsoever until he hit the finishing double, which sees him a leg in front and a break of throw as well. And Smith-Neale, it's not just the fact that he needs to win to stay in the group. If he's being
Second leg, Ryan
realistic
to
about
throw
his
first.
chances
Game
of
on.
progressing through to the finals, he cannot go out of this any worse than a 4-2 victor. You say it probably has to win it 4-1.
60.
We've got to think about other people as well. Whitehead would dearly love an Adam Smith-Neale win.
96.
You have to remember that Smith-Neale's got 2 games left. He can get to 8 points. Furness has got 2 games. He can get to 10 points.
100.
Whitehead's only got 1 left. He can only get to 8. As well as winning his final 3 matches, which he knows he needs to do. He's done 2 of them.
100.
He may need a bit of a favour. His leg difference is his biggest ally right now. Conan's last match is against Smith-Neale, who could be eliminated by that time.
Conan Whitehead in that equation of that quartet is the only one with a positive legs difference.
83.
Smith-Neale leaves himself on 142 after 9. Against the darts here in the second leg.
I've noticed as well that he's changed back
26.
to the brighter
Adam
stem
142.
and flight combination for whatever reason. He started the night pretty well with the black ones.
44.
Fickle people are star players, you know. We change things for the silliest of reasons. But it seems to be working.
100.
Oh, yeah, look at those.
Adam 98.
Have a look at this. Double 19.
60.
But again, the doubles come and
Manuel
go. That's
Barr,
5 missed starts
76.
in this game. We're only in leg 2.
This would be typical of Adam's night. Oh, miss single. We've seen a few of
36.
those tonight. Maybe a
Adam
sign
Barr,
of the tension
38.
on this stage. Adam
Game shot
decides
on
to
the
go
second
straight
leg.
for
Adam
it. Good
Smith-Neale.
decision. I'm always going to say that when he hits it first dart, but that's a 16 darter from Smith-Neale. That's much better. And he needed that. After losing 4-0 to Conor Heneghan,
Third leg,
and
Adam
losing
to throw
4-1
first. Game
to
on.
Johnny Haines earlier, that's only his 2nd winning leg of the entire night.
Which is absolutely staggering
96.
for a player of Adam Smith-Neale's quality. Ryan Furness here,
100.
just hanging around that 84 average. It's just been enough for him at this present moment in time. And the way Smith-Neale's doubling, if he can hang around that mark, he knows he's going to get
58.
a manner of opportunities.
This is the point of the night where Ryan started to struggle on Thursday. And we have
100.
just clicked over to Saturday morning. So happy weekend, everybody. To everybody who's watching in the UK, of course, or from our time zone. If you're watching from around the world.
100.
Hi. I don't know what time it is where you are, but have a nice day. But at this point,
60.
it was as if Ryan Furness went anti-gremlin. He refused to growl. It's almost like he went into Mogwai mode.
43.
Just cowled a little bit. He just couldn't find anything in his final 2 matches. But maybe the one thing that he does have in his locker for the final 2 matches this evening is that the adrenaline will be pumping because he
39.
knows he's not safe.
It's amazing what survival mode darts can do to you.
What is it they call it?
58.
Sink or swim? There is another way of saying that. I'm just trying to think. It's a body chemical thing. Fight or flight. That's what it is.
105. Adam Yukar, 146.
Well, Adam Smith-Neale is most definitely in that mode now. Furness is threatening the break. It would put him to within 2 of 8 points. It would put Smith-Neale to within 2 legs of elimination.
97.
And I don't think we would have been saying that, or thought we'd be saying that at the start of the evening. But Furness has 2 darts at top. He
shot on the
only needs
third
a 1
leg. Ryan
for the
Furness.
breaker throw in the 3rd. And he is halfway towards 8 points. And Smith-Neale now is halfway towards elimination.
Perfect on the doubles. Ryan is
Fourth
showing
leg, Ryan
Adam
to
how
throw
to do it.
first. Game on.
2 shots, 2 hits. The kind of numbers that you dream of. But like
96.
Henry's just said, he's only halfway.
Anything can change, but I mentioned a couple of seconds ago, if Furness stays around that
100.
level, the way that Smith-Neale's been doubling and the scoring is now just eased off a tad, he was always going to afford himself opportunities. And The 2 he's had so far, he has taken.
75. 140.
Those 60 visits seemed so easy earlier in the week. It just gets the mind whirring a little bit when you start missing
100
shots like that. The first 2 in that 60, perfect. And then you under-deliver dart 3. Just look at the follow-through of Smith-Neale. Every now and again, that arm just comes out and it just doesn't look natural. It's as if he's trying to do something different. Well, he's not on his A game
60
this week. That is for
Adam
sure.
126.
But he is scrapping to stay here for tomorrow.
86.
That's a good approach.
Ranu Bakar 170.
Watch out. Just for a second, we thought that maybe
85.
the trifecta of people on a 160 were going to have their biggest finish of the week usurped.
Getting shot on the 4th leg.
But Smith-Neale draws level. Maybe now he's starting to find what he needs. Fight or flight. He's fighting all right.
It's not his highest checkout of the week, but it may well just be his biggest in the context of everything that's happening in this group. He has the throw here in the 5th. A game he has to win to stay in with a chance of progressing through
93
to tomorrow night's finals. And remember, you can join us for the final tomorrow night here at the MODUS Super Series. We know we're going to see Andy Hamilton, Moreno Blome, and Lee Shewan in the showpiece finale tomorrow night from 10. Head over to dartshop.tv for more information on how you can join us for the final tomorrow night. And remember, the tickets are free of charge.
$100.
Steady stuff. But Smith-Neale's got the advantage for what feels like the first time in this match.
45.
The fact that Adams had 7 darts at a double and Ryan's only had 2. Does that tell you the full story? I think it probably gets close.
140.
Been the story of Adams' night and perhaps the story of Adams' week, if we're being perfectly honest. And this has been an illustration of the past 5 days for the big dog in some respects. We've seen some great stuff. We've seen some missed doubles. And we've seen, by and large, his opponents taking full advantage of that.
75.
Can you imagine playing for 5 days straight and not qualifying for Saturday? You have to go home and deal with the disappointment. But just for a second, think about the players who are going to play in week 12 in a few weeks' time. If you qualify through that week and you get to Champions Week, you're going to have to play for 2 weeks straight.
98. Adam Newcar 56.
That will be a battle of endurance for whoever gets there. And Smith-Neale going to do the job in week 8, and he's not happy with that because he knows that missed double could be the one that finishes him off, because this break for finesse will put him within one of the finishing line.
16.
Oh, that deflection was absolutely unbelievable. He can't believe it. That's a better shot. His previous shot was a good 2 inches from that. And he's really lucky to come back, because up until that previous visit for Ryan, he'd not missed a double. And him missing 2 at double 16 is a surprise. Maybe things are turning for the former world master from 2018.
140.
Could well swing back in Ryan Furness's favour. Well, I've just had a text from Joshua Richardson. He's just texted me to say that him and James have won the WDF British Open Pairs competition.
46.
That family just doesn't get enough darts in their system, do they? Congratulations to you two. That's a really incredible achievement. Do yourself a favour, Josh. I want you to look at the pairs that have won that before, and I want you to be proud of what you've just done. A father-son combo winning that title, that is a very big well done from everybody here
140
at the MODUS Super Series.
Absolutely. They think it's the first father-son pairing to win that particular competition.
63.
Yeah, have a look down the years. I wouldn't be surprised if there's another, but that's a really great achievement for those two. Good luck this weekend.
60.
As for Furness, he is getting closer to taking us all the way for only the second time tonight.
99. Ryan, your car 115.
Do yourself a favour, Ryan. Get rid of it quickly. Got to stay up top.
99.
And he does so brilliantly.
Ryan, your car 140.
This would be some way to win your first match of the night. In fact, the last time Adam won a game was against Johnny Haines in match 8 yesterday.
45. Ryan, your car 16.
In a long time between drinks. And
No
he
score.
might
Adam, your car 95.
still win 4-2 after Furness busts the 16.
Smith-Neale knows the importance of this moment. Everybody in the practice room knows the importance of this moment. He's going to go double 19 with his second
55.
dart. He's going to
Ryan, your car
leave himself
16.
tops if he returns. But Ryan Furness busts the double 8 in his last visit. He goes inside this time, along to
Angel
double
on the
4,
six
but that's
leg.
more of
Ryan
a friend for
Furness.
him. And this is the biggest leg of Adam Smith-Neale's week. Wins it, he's still in with a shout. Loses, he is eliminated.
What really doesn't help Adam right now is his
Seventh
leg
and final
difference.
leg, Adam to
This
throw
game
first.
being
Game
tight is not good for him. He's currently at -8 in leg difference. Furness is at -2.
on. 23.
It's a one-leg shootout to stay in week 8.
And beyond that, Smith-Neale only has one subsequent game left.
100.
That's against Conan Whitehead in game 9, but he has to win this leg first to even worry about any equations from there.
Well, if Adam loses this game,
97.
he's going to feel like he's on the floor. But do you think Conan Whitehead cares about that? No. He'll just run over him. But it could be very different if he
45.
can somehow get over his opponent from Salisbury. This is better.
85.
But he fails on dart 2 and 3. He's only 60 in front. Well, he was. Now he's behind by 120.
180.
A real show of emotion from Ryan Furness. You don't always see it from him, but he knows the significance of it. And it's
59.
forced Smith-Neale to come out swinging, but he can't find anything. So Furness is 176 points away from knocking Smith-Neale out. But in terms of his chances of going for it, it'll put him
83.
onto 10 points, and it'll put him in a really nice position to go through.
It really would. And after this, I think all of the chasing pack, apart from Johnny Haines,
97.
are liking Conor
Ryan,
Heneghan.
you require 93.
He could do everybody a favour in the next one. 74 left.
53. Adam, you require
Okay, Adam.
140.
This is what we all think about. Can you do it when the pressure is at its largest? No is the answer.
80. Ryan, you
So
require
he stares
40.
elimination in the face.
Game shown
But
in the
for
match,
Furness,
Ryan
in the
Furness.
darting furnace, he is one step away from qualifying for tomorrow night's finals here at the MODUS Super Series. He does have an 83 average, 2 maximums in the match, 4 from 8 on the doubles, a high out of 97. And Adam Smith-Neale's week ends here. He has been eliminated from the competition. I'm sure we'll see him again somewhere down the road, and we look forward to seeing him when we do see him again in action. We will see him again later on this evening, but directly after this short break, it's a big game for Johnny Haines. He takes on a man who's automatically through in Conor Heneghan.
Welcome back. Well, a couple of things settled here at the Super Series in the final night of qualifying for finals night tomorrow. Adam Smith-Neale now eliminated after that defeat at the hands of Ryan Furness. 4-3, it was won by Furness. And it could have been such a different picture, couldn't it? If Smith-Neale could have got over the line in that one, we would have had 4 players on 6 points with a game still to play. But instead, it's getting a little bit more simple to look through this league table, because if Johnny Haines loses out to the already qualified group leader Conor Heneghan here, that will be it. Heneghan will take Ryan Furness and Conan Whitehead through with him. Haines and Smith-Neale would bow out. So it turns out that we might not need Rachel Riley to join us and sort things out after all. We've settled for Henry Deacon and Paul Nicholson instead.
I'll take that. I've met Rachel on a couple of occasions. Lovely lady, very clever. She was once taught about the dartboard by the great Bobby George. But we've been taught about the permutations, about the rest of this group. And Murph's right, Henry. Things have got really simple. If Conor Heneghan wins one leg in this match, he will win the group. And if he wins this contest, he will eliminate Johnny Haines and take Conan Whitehead and Ryan Furness with him into the finals. And I suppose what we just spoke about off the air is the biggest thing, the most unbelievable thing.
Game on.
Is that after being bottom of the table overnight, Conan Whitehead could qualify with a game to spare.
Which is remarkable when you look at his fortunes yesterday. But
60.
when you look at the way he played yesterday, it shouldn't be so much of a surprise. It wasn't as if he got 2 points by playing poorly. The opponents had to beat him and beat him
60.
in some style. And he plays Conor Heneghan. He played Conor Heneghan. He was on the receiving end, one of the big averages. Takes on Adam Smith-Neale after this.
44.
And again, Smith-Neale played well in that one. So players have had to play well to beat him, but they haven't been able to follow it up this evening.
We've talked already
55.
about how Conan has lost 3 matches by 4 legs to 3. If there is a bright side to him losing those 4-3, it's
60.
that his leg difference is carrying him right now. He's at +2. Furness is at -1, even though he's got 2 more points than him.
66.
And Haines, who's got the same amount of points as Whitehead, is on -3. 5 legs behind.
Crucially, with only 4 legs to play for from this juncture
54.
onwards.
It's fair to say that Conor's not having the same start that he got against Johnny Haines yesterday, where he put in that biggest average of the week.
135.
And the new venue record, of course, 115.62.
Maybe we'll get an honours board like Lords. 105 plus averages, 9 dart finishes, a bit like the old Fifers and Centuries at many cricket grounds up and down the world.
I think we should get an autograph board for all the players.
87.
Anybody who plays here should be able to sign the wall.
What a for that is. Have you seen James Martin's kitchen?
Yeah. I'd like to see that wall close up. That would be most of my chef heroes have signed that wall.
97. Johnny require 98.
Who's your favourite chef, Henry?
James Martin's up there.
Massimo Bottura for me.
86. Conor require
even know who he is,
126.
He has the best restaurant in the world in Modena in Italy called Osteria Francescana.
Wolfgang Puck is up there, and that's
I've done some of his
54.
masterclasses.
Johnny
He's
require
pretty
12.
good. How good is Johnny Haines on double 6? Harvett.
Game shot on the
Finds
first
it.
leg. Johnny Haines.
That's a very unusual first leg. 21 darts to break the throw. And Heneghan, you just wonder if maybe, now that he's qualified,
Second leg Johnny to throw
you would
first.
hope
Game
that
on.
systematically that bloodstream has not gone into shutdown.
and crucially it was a 21 leg break where his opponent didn't even get a dart
135.
at double. It summed up the scoring stakes, and as you say, when you've run up the hill and done the job.
140.
It's so hard to then get back on the horse straight away.
He hasn't played for a couple of games, Conor. His last one was a 4-0 victory against Adam Smith-Neale. It was all too easy. But right now, what you've got to do is find the motivation to just shoot forward and
91.
become the heartbreaker. I remember when I went to Q school a few years ago, and I'd qualified after 3 days by the points total. I went into day 4 and
81.
said to myself, right, who am I gonna hurt today? Who can I stop from getting their tour cards, because they could come and bite me later? I played a guy called Brian de
85.
Hoog from the Netherlands in the final. I was already through. He needed to beat me to get his tour card, and I said, you're not getting one. And he didn't. I stopped Gary Stone
99.
that day. I stopped loads of people from getting their cards, and I took sick pleasure in it. That's the kind of thing Heneghan's got to do right now.
You wonder why you don't get many Christmas cards.
No, I don't. Or texts.
100.
Or
Johnny
WhatsApps,
Lookout 86.
or anything else. Great dart. Double 8.
70. Conor Lookout 85.
So Heneghan will return for 85. It's been a much improved leg from the pair, has to be said, after that cagey opener. Heneghan should being the operative
23.
word,
Johnny
but
Lookout
will
16.
was not. Should have got a dart at the bull. Didn't get a dart at the bull. Double 4.
Game shot of the
Huge dart
second
for
leg.
Johnny Haines. Huge dart for him. Huge dart in the consequences of this group. And Conor Heneghan is just having a bit of a struggle here. You just sense now he's got the job done.
First, game on.
The momentum is just flowing away, and he's just finding everything a little bit hard to come by.
That's a little bit better.
140.
I'll tell you what, I was just about to put the abacus away. I'm just going to keep it right next to me for now, because imagine if Johnny Haines does win this match. All of a sudden,
45.
the next 2 matches take on huge importance. One thing we do know is that if Ryan Furness wins his game
83.
against Conor Heneghan in match 10, he will be safe, because he'll get to 10 points. That's something that Conan Whitehead can't do.
You sense
85.
the important one in a scenario for Haines' victory would be the next one. That would be the key battle.
For me, the person who is in the most trouble right now is Haines.
140.
He's got the worst leg difference of the people who are still alive. What he needs is a big victory. And he
42.
would dearly
Conor
love Adam
Lookout
Smith-Neale to beat
138.
Conan Whitehead, because that would make sure that Johnny's safe if he gets the victory in this one.
84.
Ifs and buts, if they were candy and nuts. Isn't that the way that one goes? If ifs and buts were candy and nuts? I heard that somewhere once.
139. Conor Lookout 54.
Double top.
34.
Just not as proficient as he was against Johnny yesterday. In fact, if we were to try and figure out how far from that average he is, something in the region
82.
of
Conor
36
Lookout
points.
20.
What a difference a day
Being
makes.
shown the third leg.
But
Conor
Heneghan
Heneghan.
pins the double 10 to give himself some hope in this game at 2-1. And that leg is enough for him to top Group B.
Fourth leg, Johnny did the first.
His
game
job
on.
done. But he's still got 1.5 matches to play. So congratulations, Conor. You had a chance of winning Group A. You didn't. But you've won Group B.
137.
And that has advantages going into tomorrow night's play in terms of throwing first. We'll group you in. So every
60.
single place means something here at the Super Series.
Yeah, that's a great point you just made. Winning the group gives you benefits.
60.
We've got 9 matches tomorrow night for your entertainment. I hope you can join us from 10 p.m. on Sporty Stuff TV. I'll be here. Henry will be here.
43.
Murph will be here. There'll be 6 players vying for that one place at the very end where they get a very lovely photo on the stage
60.
and a bonus of £5,000.
You can be here as well.
Yeah, I'll come.
54.
Why not? But I'm sure you're talking about the fans.
Indeed. I mean, if you want to turn up, it'd be nice.
I don't want to give you all the work.
140.
Better scoring here from Haines, who has had the superior average throughout this match.
81. Johnny Lucar,
He's
104.
got plenty of time to take a 3-1 advantage. Might get rid of it straight away.
84.
Just such an organic dart player, isn't he? It's not the kind of style you could teach. It's as if he's been throwing darts this way since he was a kid. It's the only way he knows how.
140. Johnny Lucar, 20.
Double 10.
Game shot
He
on the
is
fourth
very
leg. Johnny
nearly
Haynes.
on 8 points. And we can't say that with a win, he would be 100% safe. But he would ask a very stiff question
Conor to throw
of
first
Conan
game.
Whitehead in match 9 and of Ryan Furness in match 10.
45.
Things are about to get very, very interesting potentially if Johnny Haynes can get one more leg and get himself over the line. And if he can do it in this leg,
100.
it really does throw the cat amongst the pigeons, because out of all the players in this mini group of inside Group B, he's the one with the worst legs difference.
43.
You know what would be a really strange piece of deja vu? It's the fact that last December,
30.
Johnny Haynes beat Scott Walters by 6 legs to 5 to get to the WDF World Championship. We could see Haynes qualify today and Walters
59.
going out in the same sort of way as last December. What is it about those two being in the same town, playing this great
62.
sport?
You'd think how freaky today is. Halloween's come about a month early. You've seen some strange things happen. Moreno Bloom, 80 to 1 shot at the start of the day to go on and win.
140.
Does so. We could be seeing Conan Whitehead, who was bottom of the group at the start of play, progress through Group B.
100.
But Johnny Haynes is doing his level best to make sure that that is not an outcome. And that'll be him booking his place at tomorrow night's finals. And it's going to be
15.
him with a huge advantage now in this leg to seal it 4-1.
There's a real invitation to get this done by 4-1. That
75.
was intelligent. That was a really good switch there. Not only did he find the treble, but he knew the single would leave a finish as well.
133.
So can you do it on a big out
Johnny Lucar, 134.
to give yourself a great chance? Double top twice.
54.
Oh, that was silly.
Johnny Lucar, 66.
Let's see if it makes any difference. 1 tops.
Game
It
shot on the
didn't make
fifth
any
leg.
difference
Conor
at all.
Heneghan.
So I'm not going to mention it. In fact, actually, I will. Because going for 2 double tops, that's fine. But when you miss the first one, you can't go for it again. Just imagine if Heneghan had
Six
missed
leg Johnny
that
to throw
shot
first. Game on.
and you needed 80 instead of something like 60.
Game changer potentially.
85.
Everyone's eyes will be glued to the practice room screen as far as the other combatants in Group B are concerned.
100.
This is the leg for Haines. This is the one where he has the advantage of throw to seal it 4-2, and really he cannot do with this going to a deciding leg whether he wins or
140.
loses, because even if he wins, yes, he's still in it, but he's still got a lot of work to do in terms of the leg difference going his way.
The best result
51.
for Johnny Haynes would have been something like 4-1. Because if he'd have done that,
83.
Both Ryan, Furness and Conan would both have to win to knock him out. But now, because of one leg lost,
125.
are a little bit more difficult.
This is how small the margins are here at the Super Series. We play 6 days a
97.
week. But when we culminate every single group, it can go down to just that one leg. All of that play on one moment, one leg, one missed double.
96. Johnny McQuarrie, 96.
Can he do it this time? Hasn't had a match double. And doesn't get one here.
56. Conor McQuarrie,
And
129.
Conor has not played that well in this game. He's only averaged 78. But if you look a little closer, he is starting to play a little bit better towards the end of this game. 60 for Bull. And now Haines gets his chance
59.
to win the match.
Johnny McQuarrie, 40.
A huge moment for Johnny Haines.
Game
And he
shot of
is
the
up
match,
for
Johnny
the task in a game he had to win to keep his hopes of progressing through Group B alive. He is up to the task and he beats Conor Heneghan, who has won his particular battle. He only needed one leg to top Group B. That is exactly what he has done. So let's round up then the stats on that one. 81.29 average for Johnny Haines. No 180s in that game. 4 from 11 on the doubles was more than enough for the punk to claim the 2 points. And it now puts him joint second in the group on 8 points from Ryan Furness, both on -1 legs difference. And after the break, we're going to see Conan Whitehead in action against Adam Smith-Neale. Join us in a few moments' time for that.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where it is getting towards the decision time here. The last couple of places up for grabs at finals night on Saturday. You could be there as well, by the way, as you've been hearing from the commentary team. If you go to dartshop.tv, you can book yourself tickets and they are free of charge. Well, who will be there? We're going to find out in the next couple of matches. But Johnny Haines has just given himself a really good chance after a 4-2 win against the group winner, Conor Heneghan. He can't be caught at the top now, but Johnny Haines has just given himself a leg up as he's put himself in pole position to take one of the remaining 2 spots in this group. Now, Johnny Haines on 8 points in second place, level with Ryan Furness. Conan Whitehead, though, about to play Adam Smith-Neale, who's already been eliminated. Haines will go through unless both Furness and Whitehead win. For Conan Whitehead in this match is simple. Win and he's through, lose and he's out. Can't be clearer than that, can it, Paul? Henry, let's do it.
Absolutely. Clarity. That is exactly what we want. So Conan Whitehead with a victory will secure his place into the final tomorrow night, having started the evening bottom of the pile. That's where Adam Smith-Neale is going to end tonight. And for Ryan Furness, it'll be exactly the same, but we will cross that bridge when we get there. Johnny Haines will be sitting in the practice room waiting patiently for the outcome of these 2 games. And you said earlier on this evening you fancy Conan Whitehead's chances of going through. Those chances look a little bit better now.
I still fancy it. I think he's going to get this done. You just got to look at his face right now. He fancies the challenge. And you just wonder what's left in the locker for Adam Smith-Neale. 15 games in Group A. Couldn't get through it. This is his 8th
First leg is
game
Conan to throw
of
first.
this group. So his 23rd of the week. 1 more game and then he will bid us adieu. Conan doesn't want to go home. A bit like that very famous football song.
100.
Difference is, you want to be going to work tomorrow night. In the finals of week 8 here at the Super Series.
59.
Just to illustrate what Chris Murphy was talking about at the top of this game. If Conan wins his in, then any score for Ryan Furness will be good enough to get him through.
65.
As long as he gets the 4 legs. That's the only scenario where Johnny Haines will have to go out of this tournament with Adam Smith-Neale.
100.
Which is kind of harsh when you think about it. He's posted himself at number 2 in the table. And all he's got to do now is sit back, feet up, and watch
84.
people
Conor
potentially eliminate him.
161.
Not a pleasant experience, that is for certain. There's nicer things to do on a Friday night than that.
95.
Johnny will fancy that Conan's going to get the job done here. Everything points towards that. Conan's played better tonight.
97.
He's got the adrenaline pumping where
66.
Smith-Neale may have run out of some of that. And there you go, treble 10. He's going for the double 9. He's not going to split it. Oh, he is going to split it.
50.
That
The right
shows
move.
courage of his conviction because he's got 18 points there. He wants to leave double
68.
8.
Conor
He pulls
16.
that dart 1 inch to the left. He'll bust the whole score.
Game
And
shown
it
on the
turns out
first
to
leg.
be the
Conor
perfect
Whitehead.
play for Conan Whitehead. It gives him the opening leg. And we mentioned earlier on this evening, there's not many better breakdowners of finishes in this tournament format than Conan
Second leg Adam to
Whitehead.
throw first. Game on. $58.
If it's going to be Whitehead and Hamilton tomorrow night, we're talking about 2 darting nicknames that come with weapons.
123.
A hammer and Conan, who's got a very archaic sword.
96.
There will be fists on the door.
You don't need any doorman when you got Conan around.
If they do face each other
60.
on that stage in front of a crowd, that could be lively.
Yeah, that's the kind of game I want to watch. Two guys who want to give it some. Get up there and give it the raw.
51.
Bit like Shrek, do the war.
Oh, don't go down that route. I spoke to somebody recently who had never seen that. It was Matthew Edgar
81.
earlier this week.
No way.
He'd never seen that Shrek movie with the kid saying, do the raw. And I disowned him for about 12 seconds.
100.
At this point, let me just pay tribute to Matthew Edgar, who was with us all day Monday. Henry has been in the chair. Phil Bars has been with us as well. And it will be Henry and myself for Saturday
45.
night with Chris Murphy as your host. All of us here at the MODUS Super Series would like to thank you for your company this week. We're already into Saturday.
100.
We can't wait for finals night when we've got people in here with us. The atmosphere will change when the money's on the line.
60. Adam, you require 96.
Right, Adam. Can you get yourself back in this match? Double 18 for you.
60.
Can't spoil the chances
132.
just yet.
Would it be champagne first thing on a Saturday morning? It won't for Conan Whitehead on this occasion. So Smith-Neale will return
56.
for the double
Adam, you require
18 to
36.
level us up at one apiece. And I think he'll like the tag of spoiler in his last game.
18.
But
Conan
there's
require
no
76.
spoiling about that.
Watch if Conan gets a single 20 here because he'll leave double 18. He decides not to because the flight's in the way of the single. That was smart.
56.
Slightly under-delivered on 1
18.
and 3. Which means Smith-Neale comes back for 9s. Double 3?
Game shot on the second leg.
Well,
Adam
okay,
Smith-Neale.
that's a bit different. I'm going to give our spotter a lot of credit there because I didn't see that coming, but they did.
Now, I think there's actually some convention to the madness
going
there
to
because
throw
Adam
first,
Smith-Neale has had such joy on the double 19. It's not a double we often see hit a lot in a group campaign, but for Adam Smith-Neale, that's been the
85.
case. So I think in this moment, he's thought, well, I like the double 19, double threes next door. Let's just give it a go, see what happens.
58.
There is some method in that as well because if you get that single 3 just above that double,
140.
you could actually create a little bumper for yourself to get the double 3. You didn't need it in the end. But I suppose that shot has got a lot of merit
58.
to it. I never thought about doing it that way, but the way that my darts sit in the board, it wouldn't work for me. It wouldn't work for Conan. Or would it? It actually would
85.
work for Conan, but it wouldn't work for someone like me. Mine going a little bit flatter. But you can see Adam's going quite upright.
Yeah, no good for the
97.
stackers of the world. You can imagine Robert Owen's first dart line low on the single
Oh,
free.
no, definitely wouldn't work for him.
133.
This is working out for Conan, though, quite nicely. Leaving 58 after 12. Trying to get himself away from the disappointments of the last leg.
100. Conor Heneghan 58.
Double top.
Game shot on the third
She
leg.
goes
Conor Whitehead.
2-1 to Whitehead with a 15 darter. He's protecting his own throw really well. And if he can continue to do that, he will get the job done. But I have to say this one last time.
Fourth leg Adam to
There
throw
is
first.
one
Game
thing
on.
that Conan does not want to happen in this game. He does not want it to go to leg 7. He has not won one game when it's gone the full distance in this group. What a response. Oh, brilliant. Great darts from man from Conan.
We might be burning the midnight oil,
44.
but are we lighting up the blue touch paper here?
That's a great band as well. Midnight Oil. He probably don't even know those either.
At this
60.
point, I'm just best off sat in the corner. Don't put Henry in the corner.
I'll give you a little Australian lesson if you want.
140.
Midnight Oil are an Australian pop band from the 80s, and the lead singer was a bit of an environmentalist.
92.
He had some great songs
like
Beds Are Burning and Blue Sky Mine, Power in the Passion, that kind of thing. And the lead singer went on to be the Environment Minister for the government.
99.
Incredible leg here from Adam. Very unfortunate that Conan was left on a bogey number.
41.
You said it, Henry. Double 19.
It seemed to be his favourite double this week. And for once he's missed it. This time the single free is for double 8.
On the fourth leg.
There is method to the madness. And Johnny Haines will be sat up in the practice room next door watching this with a very keen interest. But Conan Whitehead knows 2 holes of throw. And he is through to tomorrow night's final here in Portsmouth. The week 8 of the Super Series.
43.
For the first time tonight, I look into Conan's eyes and I see a little bit of trepidation. He needs to get that fire back.
139.
Because for whatever reason, it seems like Adam Smith-Neale is relishing being the possible spoiler.
94.
He's throwing, in my opinion, quite hopefully. He's got to pep himself up. This is best of 3 legs now, Conan.
81.
Are we seeing the freedom that Adam Smith-Neale has in this scenario coming to the fore?
Yes, absolutely. It's something that Conan doesn't have.
100.
Technically, Conan's throwing well, but you just sense that he needs that extra 1% of grit just to get the best out of himself.
44.
I mean, get a couple of trebles here. Well, he's going to need a couple of trebles here. There's absolutely no doubt about it now.
85.
Smith-Neale possibly has 6 from this juncture for the break.
93.
That could have been worse for Conan, that's for sure. 139 is the magic number.
99. Adam Newcar, 144.
He has to settle for the little cousin of that. Watch out. 144 isn't going to go.
82.
My heart was
Conan
in my
Newcar,
mouth.
80.
I fear to think how Conan was feeling. This is the biggest moment of the match. Tops with 1.
40. Adam Newcar, 62.
But it doesn't go. And Adam Smith-Neale, as a minimum, should get 1 dart to break. That 1 dart is at tops. The target, Whitehead, has just missed.
He's got to break the streak now. I said the one thing that Conan did not want was for this to go the distance. Now the one thing he does want is the match to go the distance. Smith-Neale has not won 1 game
96.
tonight. If he was to win this game, he would leave the arena off the Christmas card list.
41.
Whitehead, that's for sure. But Whitehead's performance level has dropped. He's averaging 82. Previously in the night, he has
60.
lost with a 97.94. He has won with 103 and won with a 92. So this is his worst performance by some distance.
140.
The worst possible time. And Smith-Neale, to be honest, isn't doing anything spectacular. He's just taking advantage of the opportunities that's coming his way. And you can just tell that he's getting really tense here between the two.
What's weird is that yesterday, the worst average
100.
that Conan put in was in his only win. And it was around 82, funnily enough. 162 is found.
162.
Conan is on the ropes. He needs something big here. Perhaps another treble.
100. Adam Newcar,
How's that done off
140.
60? Smith-Neale, to his credit, has been really effective. Even though he's only averaging 79.
Conor Heneghan, 120.
Really boggling my mind. What a save this could be. This is needed. It needs to happen.
100.
And it doesn't. Smith-Neale could eliminate Conan Whitehead in the next 10 seconds.
2 darts, a double top.
18.
2 darts missed, and Whitehead gets a reprieve. Perhaps his last chance saloon at double 10.
He's still alive.
On the 6th leg.
And now 1 leg remains in this group for both players. At no point in this group has Conan won a game 4-3. He'll have to battle those demons
7th
right
final
now, but he has got the throw.
First. Game on.
A leg where everyone is watching with
100.
full intent. Every treble in this leg was going to be absolutely huge.
Did you see that visit, Henry? Just 3 darts. Like 3 meteors
55.
just holding hands through the air. Absolutely glued to each other. He told us 24 hours ago,
43.
Don't worry, I will qualify. I backed him a couple of games into the night. I thought he's still going to do it.
96.
I'm not changing my mind. He's still got the darts. 6 shots in to this final leg of match 9.
60.
Smith-Neale is on that magic number of 350, the biggest 6-dart conversion. And in the history
59.
of this event, we've only seen that once, and that was in week 1 of phase 1 last year by Andy Jenkins against Fallon Sherrick.
100.
1 treble visits at this point are very useful.
43.
So Conan Whitehead will now have 6 darts from 198 to progress through to finals night.
43.
Oh, that's not what he wanted, though. 1 treble here will get Smith-Neale into a finishing zone as well.
96. Conor
There
Heneghan,
is that 1 treble.
155.
They are shadowing each other all the way to the end here. Whitehead. All he can do is line it up.
99.
He does a pretty good job.
152.
Over to you, Adam. Can you deliver the knockout blow? He couldn't do it in leg 6.
40. Conor Heneghan, 56.
It's your turn, Conan. Which double do you want? Double 18 is a double you've barely looked at the last couple of nights. He's going to choose tops.
From the bottom of the group overnight to a finalist here at the Super Series. It's been a fantastic Friday for Conan Whitehead. He qualifies for tomorrow night's final with an 82.29 average, 1 maximum in the match, 4 from 12 on the doubles, a high out of 58. Paul Nicholson backed him from the start. He was right to back Conan Whitehead from the start. He is through to the finals tomorrow night. It is a nervous wait still for Johnny Haines as Ryan Furness takes on Conor Heneghan, a win for Furness, and he is in to the finals.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series. I'm joined by a very happy, maybe very relieved Conan Whitehead. You've promised Paul Nicholson you were going to do it, and you've been true to your word.
I did say to Paul yesterday, I said I always do it the hard way. And I said, and I promise you now, I will make it through for the skin of my teeth, and I've just done exactly that.
You started, obviously, bottom of the table after last night. We'll take a look at the table now. You're up to second place and safely through to finals night tomorrow. It all came down to a must-win match for you in the end, and you'd had 3-4-3 defeats. Must be a real relief for one to finally go your way.
Well, yeah, as soon as I lost to Conor first game, I knew I had to win every single game tonight. And the more the night went on, I got more nervous and more nervous. I mean, it probably showed in that game there how nervous I actually was at the end.
When you play in this new venue, we've moved away from the venue in Southampton, and we're going to have a crowd in tomorrow night as well. Is that something that it's really exciting to be a part of when we've just moved here and you want to be in front of the crowd as quickly as possible?
Oh, 100%. I cannot wait till tomorrow. I mean, I've always played my best games in front of crowds. So I just literally cannot wait till tomorrow, and I'm so happy I've made it now.
Is it almost like a different event tomorrow then when you...
Oh, 100%. It's a completely different tournament tomorrow. Tomorrow's we start afresh, and we're playing for something else now. We're out of the group, so onwards now.
And you've been pretty vocal tonight. We've heard a few roars, some of them in frustration, some of them in happiness. Will we expect a bit more of that interaction tomorrow evening?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I was well up for it tonight. I mean, everyone knows on a Thursday, whatever happens, happens. It's the Friday that you sort of make it through. So, yeah, I'll be roaring a lot more tomorrow, I think.
Well, you said you'd do it, and you've done it. Well done.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And there's one place left to play for as well. It's an interesting match, this last one, because Conor Heneghan's already through. Ryan Furness isn't. It's kind of a match between Furness and Johnny Haines, but one of those players isn't on the stage. Over to you, Henry and Paul, to try and work that one out.
Yeah, fascinating 10th game of the evening session about to come, and it's all about the man in the grey shirt. Heneghan is safe. He's already won this group, courtesy of a superior leg difference and at this time, superior points. But Chris made a really good point there, Henry. This is Ryan Furness against Johnny Haines, and Haines can do absolutely nothing about it. He'll feel pretty edgy right now, won't he?
You'd imagine so. I don't know where he is at this present moment in time, whether he's
First like he's trying
departed the
to throw
building
first.
or he's in the
Game
practice
on.
room. Where would you want to be right now? Would you want to be in that practice room, or would you wanted to just got back to the hotel accommodation, wherever you are, and just wait for maybe a text to come up on your phone or something?
42.
Me personally, I would stay in the building and watch the game on the monitors, and then at the very end, what you do is you greet the players back in the practice room and you say, well done for qualifying.
55.
And if you don't, that's what you'd say. If you do qualify, you greet the player and say commiserations. That's just the nice way of doing it. But all of the pressure right now
41.
is on Ryan Furness in the same way that it was for Conan Whitehead. I love the way he just admitted that he was really nervous in that last game. We could see it. I can't imagine how he was feeling. That double 10. I'm sure he gave it a big smackaroo when he managed to plant it in for that 4-3 victory.
And you could tell in that interview the relief on his face as Ryan Furness gets the first maximum of this final game of Group B. And it'd be a relief for him to get over the line. Perhaps not the forgotten player, but the player we haven't spoken about as much in this Group B because of Adam Smith-Neale, because of Johnny Haines, because of what Conan's done tonight, and Conor subsequently yesterday.
Yeah, fair to say. We go all the way back to match 1 of this group. Furness did upset the apple cart a little bit by beating Conor Heneghan by 4-2 with a really good performance. Ooh, the old 3-dart 98.
He shot him at first.
That's what he finds. A 15-dart start is a really bad sign for Johnny Haines. If you think about the fact that Ryan Furness played Johnny in the final match last night, it was not a good game. They both averaged in the high 70s. And ultimately, it was Haines who won by 4-1. But you can tell the difference between match 10 last night and the match 10 that we've got right now is about adrenaline. You can't manufacture it
35
in your bloodstream just like that. But when it comes around and you're feeling urgency, which is what he has right now.
58.
It can be very useful.
Because you know if it's not going to happen now, it's not going to happen at all.
100. $98.
Good response from Conor in the second leg. Even at this stage, you want to play some good darts to finish the group. You don't want to amble across the line. We did say, didn't we, yesterday, that 10 was the magic number. That would get you to qualify. I wasn't sure that 10 points would win the group. I thought that would be 12 or 14. And based on the way he's played in this group, I was convinced that Conor was going to get the 12 points. But he's not getting the 180s. It's Ryan who's getting them. He's got 2.
And he is racing through this match at this present moment in time, averaging 96.8. Well, I say racing through this match.
177.
How things can change in one visit. And now the 130 has to go. It may still go. Double 5. For a 2-0 lead.
Ryan Furness.
What a moment to come up with a blockbuster finish like that.
Wow. That's one of, if not the best 6-dart conversion of the week.
Third leg, Ryan to throw first.
I remember a 281, but that's a 310 in 6.
100.
It's not just the numerical value of it, it's the value of it in this moment.
It's given him breathing space. He can
134.
afford a little falter now because Heneghan was really starting to hit his straps there at the end of leg 2.
121.
He's playing really well in this game. He hasn't had a 3-figure average all week, Ryan Furness.
140.
Just imagine if he puts it in this game. What would that say about him? And he's not relenting at all. He's getting better. Wow, what a 180 that is. He had no room to work with.
As somebody told him that he has to win to qualify.
100. Ryan O'Connor, 100.
He's played in a local competition this week against Conor Heneghan, and he lost.
60.
But he's not losing here.
127.
Not yet.
And the 127 has to go. And he hasn't even had a darted double yet, Conor Heneghan, and he's averaging 92. Ryan Furness.
Ryan O'Connor, 40.
He's just going through the gears here.
Game
And you just have to admire it.
Furness.
Ryan Furness is 3-0 up and he's racing towards tomorrow night's final. Johnny Haines here needs Conor Heneghan to win each of the remaining 4 legs. And that's going to be hard to do
85.
against a man who's averaging a ton, has 3 maximums to his name.
85.
And all he has to do is just keep track with Heneghan. He hasn't even had a darted double yet, the Irishman.
100.
Tons will do at this present moment in time. Bit of a stalemate at the beginning of
55.
leg 4, but that could be an opening against the darts. He's cracked the door open. He's almost there. You can almost see tomorrow night's final.
85.
And he is going to get 6 from 176 to do it. What a time this would be to get another.
100.
A ton will do. A ton will do in this scenario. He's going to return for 76.
55, round your class 76.
And he has saved his best performance
36.
until last, but he hasn't
Coming
won
in
it
car
yet.
121.
He is left on tops. And he's going to get a go at it.
57, round your car 40.
And so Ryan Furness wants double 10 to seal his place in tomorrow night's finals. And you could see what it means to him. It has been a war of nutrition and attrition for him. A 95.43 average and a 4-0 success against Conor Heneghan, who will finish the group top of the pile. But Ryan Furness has qualified for tomorrow night's final. He's going to be back here in front of a crowd at 10 p.m. tomorrow evening. Let's have a look then at the stats. 3 180s from Furness, 4 from 10 on the checkouts. That equates to 40%. The high out of 130 there for Furness, who in the darting furnace has come up with the goods. As for Johnny Haines, he has now been eliminated from the competition. It's always great to have him here at the Super Series, and I'm sure we'll see him again somewhere along the line. So that means Conor Heneghan, Conan Whitehead, and Ryan Furness will join the finals party here at the Super Series. Let's get some final thoughts and reflections up on the balcony with Paul Nicholson and Chris Murphy.
Thanks, Henry. Yeah, Paul, wow. If you need to win a match to book your place at finals night, that is how to do it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there was a bit of adrenaline pumping through the veins of Ryan Furness there. At the end, he let out this yelp, and you could almost see the nerves and the anxiety just leave his body as soon as he was able to get that job done. But I think in that match, I don't know if you agree with me, but that 310 points converted in 6, that was world class from him, because Heneghan was coming back at him at that point, and the ability to put in a 95 average just when you need it like that. I think Johnny Haines is going to feel quite bereft, but it was out of his hands in the last 2 matches.
Yeah, how can I argue with that? It was a Class 6 starts here. Here's how the table looks then after all the matches have been played. Ryan Furness actually finishing tied on points at the top of the table with Conor Heneghan, who lost his last couple of matches after he'd already qualified. It is difficult to keep that kind of level going once you know that you don't have to, isn't it?
Yeah, from a chemical point of view in your body, when you've done your job, you've got to re-motivate yourself. And obviously, when he got one leg in a previous match, he knew he was going to win the group. It's really hard to motivate yourself after that. He would have wanted to beat Ryan Furness for the second time this week, funnily enough, but because they played in a local competition on Tuesday night. But as it turns out, it looks like Ryan Furness has got Conor Heneghan's number, at least on this stage.
Speaking of one leg, that's what Conan Whitehead needed in the very last leg of his match. A remarkable turnaround for him.
Yeah, I backed him, and when he said to me last night he was going to do it, I wasn't going to go against him.
You believed him. You backed him because you believed him, didn't you?
Yeah, I do. But I do believe everything he says. He's just someone who is really honest. If he said to me last night, I think it's going to be tough, I'm not sure I'm going to get there, I would have believed him if he'd said that. But he had so much belief in his eyes. He's just someone who is willing to go to the well, and being a Welling United fan, I suppose that's pretty apt.
Well, yeah, a couple more players have got the boot, but we have got finals night tomorrow. The 6 players are in place, and I can now reveal the groups for finals night tomorrow. Slightly different format, 2 groups of 3. Those who've been watching us for a while will be accustomed to that. Group 1, Andy Hamilton, Lee Shewan, and Ryan Furness. Group 2, Conor Heneghan, Moreno Blom, and Conan Whitehead. Paul, I'm going to put you on the spot, of course, before we end the show. Who do you think is going to take that £5,000 and get a title on that stage tomorrow?
Well, I was talking to the people in the Sporty Stuff TV studio earlier, and I said that Moreno Blom at 7-1 was a pretty good shot, but that was an outside shot for me. I'm going to go for Conan. I think after what he said to me last night about I'm going to qualify and I feel like I'm going to get the whole thing, I'm not going to go against him. I think it could be a 4th weekly title for Conan.
That would be an act of brinksmanship from the Barbarian. That's what he's done today as well, from bottom to top. We saw that from Moreno Blom as well. It's been a week of great escapes. We've had a 9-darter as well, but we'll have a full house here tomorrow for finals night. Somebody will take the title. We're back on air at 10 p.m. on Saturday night. Don't miss it. We'll see you then.